watching last year's All-Ireland final and, you know, felt happy in my decision, you know, that I was in the right place. But I suppose later on that evening I went to dinner with the lads, and, you know, I hadn't seen them in a while, and, you know, got to talk to them and got to sort of experience their disappointment again, and I suppose that kind of got me thinking, I suppose. But ultimately, I suppose it was the fact that I moved back into Erin's own parish that made up my mind to come back, really. I won one All-Ireland, you know, which obviously is a hell of a lot better than no All-Ireland, but you know, you can never win too many, and but you know, I think it was, I won't say it's sort of a sense of unfinished business, but you know, obviously I'm kind of pushing on in years a bit in terms of inter-county hurling, so I felt that even in club hurling, if I was to come back, then it would have to be this year, because, you know, if I left it another year, it would be too late.
Available inside is Brian Corcoran, going for goal number 2. Corcoran, oh yes, take it out.
I'm certainly enjoying it, but you couldn't describe me as a free scoring full forward. But you know, I suppose I see my job as just adding a bit of strength to the forward line. Obviously, you know, with Joe and Kieran and Ben, you know, the lively guys around, I feel my job is to just, you know, try and break up the ball and try and win possession, and maybe give to those guys who can score. And you know, if you can grab a point or two yourself, you know, it's a bonus. You know, typically I wouldn't be a very nervous person, but you know, you certainly would have butterflies in the belly in the morning of the game, but I think that's just natural. You know, there's a lot of tension, and, you know, if we could play the matches 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, but unfortunately that's not the case, and there's a lot of waiting around in the morning, and but we definitely will be nervous, but I'm sure everyone at Kilkenny team is going to be nervous as well, and, you know, I think if we're not nervous, there's something wrong.
Yeah, Brian Corcoran, who makes a welcome return to the All-Ireland stage this afternoon. And Tomas, of course, you played with Brian Corcoran.
Yes, I mean, he's a fantastic player, Michael, there's no doubt about that. And I think the key this year was that when he got the invitation to come back into the panel, he wasn't pushed into the team straight away.
Yeah.
They phased him in, they gave him their 10 minutes in some games, they gave him their 15 minutes in some games. He came on then in championship matches, he wasn't thrown in at the deep end of the championship match as well. Gave him a bit of time to get his own match fitness back, and he's benefited from that certainly, and I think Cork have benefited as well, you know, and on the basis that last year we looked at Kilkenny and the performance of Noel Hickey in the full back line that day. Like, Brian was very effective the last day against Dara Ryan for Wexford. He's a big presence around the square. As he said, he isn't the free scoring forward that you would traditionally know playing in the role of full forward, but he's there to help the players around, and if he doesn't score today, he'll be happy if the scores are coming off of him.
OK, Tomas. Well, now a man who makes an appearance on All-Ireland final day nearly every year, though I'm not quite sure if he has too many medals. That's our own reporter, Jim Carney. He's out and about early this afternoon on Jones's Road. He's sampling the atmosphere ahead of today's big game.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael, for joining us out here on the famous Jones's Road. Well, it's a relatively quiet and tranquil scene here at the moment, but from now on until the mid-afternoon, this will be the road to Mecca. The supporters will be gathering here shortly in their thousands from Cork and Kilkenny for the big match, and we'll be meeting them a little bit later on around here and sampling the atmosphere and getting the views, so I hope that you'll come back to us for that. Now, when the GA was founded about 120 years ago, this great sports ground here was known as Butterley's Ground, but it doesn't sound anything as catchy like as Croke Park does. Now, Michael, the thought for you as I hand back, the history books show that most of the vantage points in the early days were from what they called grassy mounds. So if we didn't have the spectacular changes we've had in the last century, well, you, Michael, and Mull and Ger, you could be watching this game today from a grassy mound and having a picnic.
As long as it's not from a grassy knoll and somebody takes a shot at us, we're all right. But now, from a man who's a regular fixture in our coverage over the years of All-Ireland hurling final day to one who has to go back a little distance to his big day at Croke Park. Connie Buckley was the man who led out the All-Ireland winning Cork team of 1941. Well, Connie is now the oldest surviving Cork captain, so we decided to send another ageing Cork captain to go and have a chat with him.
Connie, 1941, what memories stand out for you on the All-Ireland final day, 1941?
Well, all the locals around, they came around, they were jumping mad, they couldn't believe it. Cork had been winning All Ireland for 10 years, 31 since Oldie Harlan, and Cork came along and won the All Ireland 41, which was a great achievement, like. And it was hard going that time, because Limerick were a top team that time. They were a very strong team. Dublin were a poor team. Yeah, we won easily, like, you know. Although I wasn't very good at all, I was playing centre forward. I did my best.
On that team you had some fantastic players.
They were great players. Jack Lynch, Jim Young, Michael Brennan, Billy Campbell, Jack Barrett, Kinsey, and Jack was a great man at centre field.
Who was the toughest man you came up against?
Oh, I played against Mick Ryan in Limerick. He was a tough man. He was a great man. He was in a place called Moreau, that's where he was. And he played with a hand. He played with a hand, and he was Moreau, that was West Limerick mostly, outside Croke.
You'll be watching the All-Ireland final, I'm sure. Your thoughts will be with the Cork team. I mean, how do you fancy their chances?
Oh, yeah, there's a 50-50 chance. If they strike form, they'll be hard to beat. If they strike form, they'll be hard to beat. They're a good team.
When you came in as the Cork manager, there was all kinds of pressures going on in the background at the time. 12 months down the line, are you enjoying the job more now?
You know, people have asked me that before, whether you enjoy the matches. I mean, the thing is, I don't see how you can, you know, enjoy the actual match because you're working at the match. You asked me about pressure. I suppose there is pressure, you know, because people's expectations, right, because of Cork being a great hurling county, and they go back through certain amount of All-Irelands won, and some people can name every game that was played and whatever else, and they expect, no matter how good or bad a team is, they expect that they should be winning something, and a lot of counties are like that, you know. So, but there's no undue pressure. The way I look at the thing is, look, I can only do the best I can, and if I make a few slips, I make a few slips, and there's no point in crying about it the following day. That's, you know, human frailties and original sin and all that, you know. So there's not much you can do in that situation.
Let me take you back, Donald, to the beginning of the summer, because obviously setting out the championship campaign, your ambition would be to defend your title.
You go out to try and win every match, and some you win and some you don't. This year we weren't good enough in the Munster final, and we were beaten. You know, the name of the game is scores on the board, and we didn't get enough against Waterford, and we didn't get enough in last year's All-Ireland final, and as such we didn't deserve to win either of the matches.
So then, after that Munster final defeat, the pressure was now on, because one strike and you're out of the championship.
Well, you know, I've said it, and I've said it to the players as well, you know, you don't ever get a second chance. You know, we lost our last match, we want to win our next match, and it didn't make a difference what team was there. That's you know, you were trying to beat Tip, because maybe they were Tip as well, and that there was a little bit of pride at stake, but up to the last 5 minutes it would have gone anywhere, but at least we got out of it with a win, and, you know, let's be quite honest, every team that was in the quarter-final draw that night was hoping we might get Antrim, because it was the softer side of the draw, and that, you know, you get into Croke Park, hopefully you win it, and you're into a semi-final, and that's how things turned out.
After the All-Ireland semi-final, Cork's confidence certainly wouldn't have been dented by the performance that day.
Let's be quite honest, I mean, we played well enough that day, but like, we were allowed to play well as well, and that's a point that has to be made, you know. I mean, there's no point of coming out of Croke Park that day feeling like that, geez, we can be this good all the time, because, you know, you're only as good a lot of time as the opposition allow you, right? And having said that, I mean, the All-Ireland final is going to be a different kettle of fish altogether.
Donald, much will be made going into this All-Ireland that you both have won 28 titles.
To be perfectly honest with you, Michael, I've heard that, right? That's you know, that's of no interest to me. I mean, whether Cork have won 28 titles or 48 titles or 98 titles or 2 titles, you know, 2004 is 2004. What you do in 2004 is all you can do now. We have our team, our 2014 going out, and we're hoping that they'll do the best they can for us. And, you know, the players have given 100% effort in everything that I've asked them to do over the past 2 years, and that's all they can do in the game.
Yeah, that's Donald obviously looking forward to the senior match later on. Well, let's go.
John O'Halloran gets the ball for Cork from a very awkward angle, a high one, and the ball is in the net. It's a goal. Greg Cummins going tumbling up the field now. He's on the 50. It's 40, it's 30, it's 21. There's a shot, and it's a goal. It's a goal. trying to get through. And a shot. And goal! A goal by Richie Powell.
Hand pass to Ben O'Connor. Looking for enough room. Gets enough room. Gets enough accuracy on it as well. And Cork take the lead. Kilkenny have a man over. It's Martin Comerford. He balances and he strikes. And he scores! It could be the crucial goal of the game.
Teammates.
I suppose Cork is a county that goalkeeping standards are very high, and I think at the moment there's probably 5 goalkeepers in the county that could play in goals for Cork on Sunday week, and they would all do as good a job as I would do. I suppose I've been very fortunate over the years that I've been involved with Cork that there's been some great defenders involved, and I suppose going through to this year now where you have Wayne on the right and Diarmuid full back and Brian Murphy who've come in from in his first year in the panel and has done an excellent job. I suppose Wayne and Diarmuid and myself have been together for many years, and I know that it's a great feeling for me to be so used to the lads, and also for communication and things like that. The half-back line as well has been very strong. I suppose we've got John Gardner on the right who's come in over the past couple of years and probably came into the Cork team when things weren't going very well for us, but has always played well. In centre back you've Ronan Curran who's an all-star, and outside him Sean Ogue. Sean Ogue is a great player as well. Even this year we were on holidays in Vietnam and Donald gave a couple of us the responsibility of taking the training sessions out there. I can remember one day in Saigon that we left the hotel looking for a suitable field to train on. A couple of 100 yards away from the hotel there was a grand flat field as far as I was concerned, because to be honest I wasn't feeling the best that day now, and Sean Ogue as usual would be mad for road. Sean Ogue wasn't happy with it. We ended up walking for miles and miles looking for the field that we never found, until eventually that we came right back around to the hotel and Sean said, yeah, I think this is the best field of the lot for us to use, and I can tell you that was as tough a training session as I've ever done, that walk with Sean Ogue that day. This year midfield I suppose has been a bit of a poison chalice, and the players that have played there over the past couple of years have got a lot of criticism. This year we've Tom Kinney and Joey O'Connor playing there, and the lads are doing absolutely brilliantly. Tom played half-back last year and was a revelation really for us. This year he was gone to midfield, and I suppose his athleticism and his skill and his way of playing suits the modern game of playing at midfield. Joey O'Connor has been knocking around the panel for the past couple of years, coming on and maybe doing well at times, and a lot of people would have said that he should have been starting all along. But this year he's really made the position his own, and he's brought a lot of energy and skill to that position of the field for us. Ben, his speed and his skill is outstanding. Timmy on the other side, Timmy Mack is a guy who's come in for a lot of criticism down through the years, but has always done a great job for Cork. Centre forward is Niall McCarthy. Centre forward is a very difficult place to play within that very difficult line, and Niall has done a great job, and I think in general to have Niall around the scene is absolutely excellent. But I suppose the full forward line this year again has been done very well, and the return of Brian has been a massive boost to us, not alone for his presence on the field, but off the field to all of us. Kieran Murphy is a guy that's come through from underage level. He's been on the panel for the past couple of years and has been doing very well, and the best is yet to come from him, hopefully. Jordine in the other corner, I suppose one of the lads that I've spent a lot of my time with over the past couple of years, and I suppose what can you say about Joe, Jordine is Jordine.
Our thanks to Donald. We'll be meeting the Kilkenny team a little bit later on, but now 25 years ago, Kilkenny were also the All-Ireland champions. In the final of that year, they beat an up-and-coming Galway side that would soon have its day, but the summer of '79 belonged to Kilkenny. That's the Jubilee team here at Croke Park this afternoon, and they are about to be introduced to the crowd right now by Marty Morrissey.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the first Sunday in September 1979, Kilkenny faced Galway in the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final. Kilkenny, trained by two legends, Pat Henderson and Eddie Kerr, had beaten Dublin and Wexford in the Leinster Championship, while Galway had surprised Cork in the semi-final. 53,535 people attended a match here in Croke Park on a day of heavy rain and high winds. Kilkenny won their 21st All-Ireland title by beating Galway 212 to 1-8. And these are the men that brought glory to their county.
Led, of course, by one of the penalties.
The side that beat Galway 25 years ago came from a great hurling family and from a great hurling club. 5 years previous, he captained his county to the under-21 All-Ireland title. From Ballyhale Shamrocks, will you welcome, please, Ger Benelli.
Always a very sleek and neat player. Maintained that fine family tradition of never having skippered a losing All-Ireland team.
James McGarry later today, one of the finest goalkeepers ever, came from Bennett's Bridge. He's a selector, of course, with Kilkenny today, so he's represented here by his son, Niall. In 1979, he won his 7th All-Ireland medal. Will you welcome, please, Noel Skehan.
Well, aside from all the All-Irelands won on and off the field, 9 in all, he was an All-Star 7 times.
A hurling legend, tugged out at right corner back. At 37, he was the oldest member of the team. And 25 years ago, the James Stephens man won his 5th All-Ireland medal. Will you welcome back to Croke Park, the one and only, Fan Larkin.
Well, that day in 79, there was a penalty. It was saved by Skehan, and Fan Larkin here made a great clearance. And against Galway.
The Kilkenny team that beat Galway was just 21 years of age. Only 4 years previous, in 75, he'd won an All-Ireland colleges with St. Kieran's. From Clara, this is Paddy Prendergast.
Paddy, who made the switch to full-back during the Leinster final that year and stayed there, played brilliantly.
At left corner back from the Fenians club was a tight marking defender who was following in the footsteps of his older brothers Ger and Pat. Wearing number 4 and marking Galway's star forward PJ Malloy was John Henderson.
Yes, John was a great steadying influence in that full-back line. He later went on, of course, to Coach Wicklow and many other teams as well.
At right half back for Kilkenny on All-Ireland final day in 1979 was another Ballyhale Shamrocks man. In 75, he too had won an All-Ireland colleges with St. Kieran's. The number 5 was Richie Reid.
He was introduced in the defence against Dublin during the Leinster Championship. Settled things down that day, but it looks like it could have been an early exit for the
The
Cats.
centre half back 25 years ago was a true colossus. He had a brilliant game in the final. Wearing number 6 for the Fenians club was the great Ger Henderson.
He was man of the match in 79, continued to perform with great distinction right into the 80s and 90s. Marked Frank Burke in 79.
The half-back line that year was a delightful hurler from Conaghy Shamrocks. At left half back, will you welcome the present chairman of the Leinster Council, Nicky Brennan.
Well, once he settled in that final against Galway, he was one of the genuine stars, now one of the leading administrators in the GAA.
He was only 23 in 1979, but what a great player. At midfield was the selector with today's Kilkenny minor team, the one and only Joe Hennessy. Will you welcome, representing his dad, James Hennessy.
Well, his dad, Joe, had a quiet start to the 79 final. Then he cut loose and really sparkled. Brilliant second-half performance.
Joe's partner at centre field was a man that played his club hurling with Blackrock in Cork. A magnificent, powerful midfielder. He won his 6th All-Ireland 25 years ago. Will you please acknowledge Frank Cummins.
Another powerhouse display in that final by Frank. His job was to limit the effectiveness of John Connolly. He did that because John had destroyed Cork in the semi-final.
Operating on the 40 was another Fenians man. Captain of the All-Ireland winning team of 75. Wearing number 11 on his back in 79 was Billy Fitzpatrick.
Well, Billy had a great first half to this match, and he could look back now, I think, with many fond memories of what was a great career.
Who will ever forget the next man? The ball glued to the hurling as he headed towards goal. He scored 1-7 in the All-Ireland final on a day when he won his 4th All-Ireland. Will you welcome Liam Chunky O'Brien.
Yes, as Marty says, he was as busy as ever in that match, scoring 1-7, 3 of them from play, and all scores coming at vital times for Kilkenny.
At top of the right was a man that had won an All-Ireland junior hurling medal with Warwickshire in 69. He won his 3rd senior All-Ireland with his native Kilkenny 25 years ago today, scoring 1-1 against Galway. It's Erin's own Mick Brennan.
Probably had his greatest game that season in the Leinster final, hitting 8 wonderful points, but he got great scores against Galway also.
The full forward on the Cats side that day against Galway was winning his 4th senior All-Ireland. From the James Stephens club in Kilkenny City, a prolific goal scorer. His name, Mick Crotty.
Mick always went very quietly about his business when others were bragging about minor achievements. He was a terrific star, former UCC student as well, of course.
The top of the left for Kilkenny had an amazing career. He had won an All-Ireland Intermediate with Tipperary in 1972, played with Limerick in 73 and 74, but he won his senior All-Ireland medal with Kilkenny in 79. His name, Matt Root.
Yes, some of his distribution that day was top class, I remember. Highly instrumental in setting up scoring chances for others.
Another member of that famous family from Ballyhale Shamrock scored a point after being introduced as a substitute. Later to become Kilkenny and Dublin hurling manager. Will you salute, please, Kevin Fennelly.
This came on as a sub, did score, and later became a goalie, of course, with Kilkenny, and went on to coach.
8 minutes from the end of that All-Ireland final, a wonderful, tough, stylish defender was introduced and immediately made an impact. Will you welcome back to Croke Park, Thomastown's Dick O'Hara.
Dick had an eye injury during the year which limited his involvement, but he played the last 7 minutes and won 2 more All-Ireland medals in 82 and 83.
For years, Noel Skehan had been understudy to the late great Ollie Walsh. Kilkenny were fortunate to have a goalkeeper in reserve that would have been first choice in any other county. From the Fenians Club, this is PJ Ryan.
Yes, PJ Ryan.
Kilkenny's depth of talent has always been impressive, none more so than in 79. Ballyhale Shamrocks had another representative on the panel, a superb centre-back. Will you welcome Maurice Mason?
Still well remembered by people who have fond memories of Kilkenny in that era.
One of the most versatile members of the Kilkenny team in 79 came from the St. Lachlan's Club in Freshford. Half-back or midfield is best position. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Murty Kennedy.
Yes, Murty, strong and tall as ever. Good player.
Rory Stig is famous for his beauty and producing great hurlers. A forward of real class and easily recognised for his long hair and beard at the time. Will you welcome, please, Tommy Malone.
Big cheer for an easily distinguished and easily identifiable man.
Probably one of the best defenders in Kilkenny at the time, was a member of the Dixborough Club. Full-back or cornerback, he was a valued member of the panel. This, ladies and gentlemen, is John Marnell.
John getting a big cheer. Crowd filling up in Croke Park the whole time.
Another man who could play corner or half-back later went on to win an All-Ireland Club medal in 1984 from the St. Martin's Club in Muckalee. Will you welcome, please, Patsy Moore.
Patsy coming out then, the final member of that 1979 All-Ireland winning team, the day Kilkenny won the 21st All-Ireland final.
Will you please salute the Kilkenny senior hurling team that won the 21st All-Ireland title for their county 25 years ago in 1979. They're our Irish Nationwide Jubilee team for 2004.
Yes, that was the All-Ireland winning team, as Martin said, of 1979. You know, there are some super players in the Kilkenny team at the moment. They weren't bad lads either in those days, were they? Famous names, legendary names indeed, many of them. Yeah, 1979 it was. We're waiting for the teams to come out here on the pitch. The present team, of course.
Huge occasion, and
yeah, Tomas, sorry, I could have crossed you there just to hear the cheer for your team and the salute for the team. A huge occasion.
Huge occasion for everybody, you know. And I mean, you feel if Cork were to win today, Michael, I'd expect them to take the game to Kilkenny from the very start. I mean, like they did similar to Wexford, the Antrim match as well. I mean, the one disadvantage that I feel coming into the game today is that they got it too easy against Wexford. They got it very easy against Antrim, you know. So they're coming up against a very good team in Kilkenny, you know. So it's a tough match. Everybody's been asking me all week, how will you call it? I mean, it's a 50-50 game. It's down to the 70 minutes. Whoever wants it bad enough today will go on and win it.
There hasn't been a draw in the All-Ireland turning final, I think, since 1959, Gerlach. And I've been saying to people during the week, I've been asking me who's going to win the match. Put €20 on a draw.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Lachlan today, and he got 9-1 this morning that it would be a draw. There hasn't been a draw in so long, and it's just that type of game. If you look at all the people that are talking about the game and predicting the game, it's kind of even Steven between Cork and Kilkenny. It's just impossible to call because it was so close last year. They haven't made sense. Cork have prepared much better this year than they were last year. They're much more relaxed. I think they're more focused. Kilkenny will be better than they were last year because I think they were overtrained coming into the All-Ireland last year. So this is really the contest. This is the rubber contest between them. They're one each, 99 in last year, and this is the one that's going to decide their reputation.
Yeah, just one thing as well. I mean, the loss of Jonathan O'Callaghan, I think, could have a bit of a blow for Cork as well. I mean, he's been very influential coming on as a substitute as well. I mean, he's got a couple of scores. When the game has opened up, when the game has loosened and there's a lot of loose play, he has tremendous pace. Like, and he's a sad loss. I mean, he got injured in training, and unfortunately, he's missing a big occasion today.
And when you look through the subs, Tomas, there are very few alternatives for Cork in the forwards now. There are plenty of alternatives back-wise, but forward-wise, they're very, very sharp.
Certainly weakened with the loss of Jonathan O'Callaghan. Gives the other guys the opportunity. The John Anderson's there that came on the last day as well. Mickey O'Connell, he's plenty of experience as well. He can come back into the squad again. But you would look at on the opposite side, you don't have the flexibility that Kilkenny have in the forward position. I mean, people are asking all week, what way are these forwards going to line out? Is Henry Shefflin going to play centre forward? Is he going to play wing forward? Is he going to play in the corner? And they have greater flexibility. Martin Comerford can play out the corner, out half forward. He can play full forward. DJ can play any line at this stage. So they have the flexibility to be able to move fellas around if it goes wrong in different areas.
Well,
mentioning Kilkenny tackles there, I'd say, as well.
Yes. See much more to look.
Okay, gentlemen, well, we've met Joel O'Grady's team, the Cork team, a little bit earlier on, and now it's Kilkenny. And who knows these fellows better over the years than the main man himself, DJ Carey. Martin Comerford, the two team captains. It looked like Martin Comerford won the toss, and as far as we can figure there, we'll be playing from the Hill 16 goal into the Canal End goal where we are here, and that means they'll be playing as you watch it from left to right. By the way, as we mentioned earlier on, if there's a draw in this match, and there hasn't been a draw for many, many years in the hurling final, the replay will be on the 3rd of October, and be mindful of the fact that there was a draw in the previous game here. If you missed that, it was the minor match between Galway and Kilkenny. That's ending all square. There will be a replay of the minor match. Now, the President of Ireland, Barry McAleese,
first All-Ireland 100 years ago. That was the 1904 final, played some 2 years later, which saw Tullaroan of Kilkenny beat St Finbarrs of Cork. The score for the record was a goal and 9 to a goal and 8. Will it be as close today? That match took place at Deer Park, which is the home of Maurice Davitt, a mile outside the town of Carrick on shore in South Tipperary. And the historic event was recounted and reenacted during the summer when two clubs again represented Kilkenny and Cork, and they met at Tullaroan, and by all accounts they had a right good day, as Ben O'Connor now introduces the stars of 2004, the Cork Stars, to Her Excellency President Mary McAleese. A lot of tension around still, as you'd expect. It's just such a huge occasion. But thankfully, the rain has stayed clear of Croke Park, and for that we have to be particularly thankful. And everybody looking forward to what they hope will be a right good match. So the introductions to the President now out of the way. Off she goes.
For the last day, but no, I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. I went for Kilkenny on Friday evening on the radio. I'd been fancying Cork for the last few weeks, but no rain today I think is a massive boost for Cork. They look more focused to me than Kilkenny. They look more eager. They've 7 or 8 lads with no All-Ireland medal. All the Kilkenny players have medals. I think there's that little bit more in it for Cork. They've that little bit more hunger, and I'm going to go for Cork.
So it's Cork for Michael Duignan as the players get into position behind the band. And the Artane Boys band lead them around Croke Park in ceremonial fashion as we take a check on the two teams for this afternoon's final. And we're starting with Cork, and once he was fit again, there was always the likelihood that John Gardner would be back in the Cork half-back line. And so it's proved with Cian O'Connor stepping back down to the subs bench. And by comparison with 12 months ago, Cork have 4 new starters. Brian Murphy at corner back, Jerry O'Connor in midfield, Kieran Murphy top of the right, and Brian Corcoran has returned after his 3-year exile. Well, so much for Cork. In the semi-final, Kilkenny started and finished with the same 15, so it was always most likely that the selectors wouldn't tamper with a winning formation. Strains and aches there may have been for Michael Kavanagh and DJ Carey, but they're both included. The newcomers from last year's final are Ken Coogan playing in midfield, and young Cha, James Fitzpatrick, but he's better known as Cha Fitzpatrick, listed at right corner forward.
Ger, well, Michael Duignan has all the right attributes of analyst. He's tipped both sides coming into this. He has to be right at the end. But Gerlock now, you're pretty good at this kind of stuff as well. Who are you tipping?
Well, I was going granted they had Michael Duignan.
He got so much stick for me the last time. That's why he's gone from Cork.
Well, I think no team, no manager and no county above all deserves to have the 3 in a row McCarthy Cups in Kilkenny. But all of Cork's preparations, all of their focus from this time last year has been to win this All-Ireland and to come up with a plan to beat Kilkenny. They've changed their game completely. They've brought in this possession game, bringing the ball from the full forward line, full back line to the half back line, bypassing the Kilkenny half back line, creating space by the 2 midfielders coming through, dragging the opposing centre back out. Will they get away with that today? That's the big question. I think they have the 2 things that can beat Kilkenny. They have pace and they have skill to burn. That might be the decisive thing today, provided the day stays fine. I go for Cork.
Tomas Mackay.
Obviously, I'm going for Cork, Michael. I'm going from on the basis that I said at the start of the year it will be a Cork-Kilkenny final. It's 12 months wiser. They're a better balanced team than they were this time last year. I think if we get the 2 O'Connors into the game very, very quickly, I mean, they've been our chief scorers. They can dictate the game today, take the game to Kilkenny, and the rest will follow suit. I'd go for Cork, rain or no rain. People have said that we don't like playing in the rain. I take people back to 99, it rained as well and we won the match at that stage. I mean, its conditions are there. Whatever way you get them today, you take them. Players themselves, don't worry about the rain. They'll go up and play the game.
Gentlemen, enjoy the match. Let's go back in again to our commentary team, and they are, as you heard, Michael Duignan and Ger Canning.
Yes, the band just bringing the teams now across into the centre of Croke Park. More or less the end of the formalities. Will it be 29 for Cork or 29 for Kilkenny? That's the question to be determined this afternoon. Plenty of wind around as ever, but as I say, no great rain coming down, and the forecast was horrible, as you know. Hurricane hurling was on the way, we were told. Well, it's a milestone for these teams. It's a milestone for one of our own as well this afternoon. Michael O'Carroll, our TV director, is producing this afternoon's television production on RTE for the 40th time. Michael, congratulations. We wish you well today. And by the way, where were you for the last 75 when we needed you? Teams coming around here and continuing the parade. Tense moments for the players, of course. Was this part of the scene that you liked, Michael?
Yeah, I think you learn to enjoy it. You know, I said before the match, when you get that little bit of experience, you actually tend to take in the crowd, you're able to enjoy it, and you know, it's tense, but what is it at the end of the day? It's a game of hurling. That's all it is. There's nobody going to be dead at the end of it, and go out and give it your best shot, you know, and let the best team win. But what I'm looking forward to, Ger, is the contrast in styles today. Kilkenny are a very, very traditional team. They win hard ball, they let it go long all the time. Cork are more scientific, they carry the ball, look for the extra man all the time. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, the different styles at work. But Cork just look very, very, very focused and very fit, you know, and I think they're going to be very hard to beat. Absolutely.
We'll have to wait and see just what happens. It's Michael Duignan who goes for Cork, but our panel, as you heard, Ger Loughnane and Tomas Mulcahy, having varied views. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Let's wait until 5 o'clock. Pictures that are going all over the world right now. The Defence Forces are watching it in Kosovo and Liberia. Stephen Grehan and Kieran Brennan, Kilkenny Stars, are watching it. But right now we're going to just pause, and very fittingly a moment of peace and remembrance for the tragic children of Bethlehem, so cruelly taken in horrific fashion just over a week ago. That brutality in such stark contrast to the beauty we can look forward to of sport today, a day's sport. It's a terrible dichotomy. We remember them all today in our prayers. Wherever you're watching, hope you're going to enjoy it. And a tragic weekend for the Mullally family. Our deepest sympathy to the Mullallies from Kilkenny.
Yeah, terrible thing for the family. It puts things in perspective, and just to Richie and Paddy and all the family before the trial, commiserations.
Eildon Maximna from Dublin will take charge of his second All-Ireland hurling final. Already it's firing up in there with extra players wanting to join the fray, like John Hoyne coming in to try and join the midfielders, but eventually it gets underway. It's the start of the 114th All-Ireland hurling final. Kilkenny won the toss, hurling from left to right in the first half. Early chance here, falling towards Eddie Brennan, coming in, chance of a goal here, and he's put it wide. Early chance for Eddie Brennan that time, a man from whom they are looking for big things this afternoon. That was a really good chance.
It was, I'm not sure if he didn't get in DJ's way. DJ was coming in like a train from behind there. I think maybe he should have taken on that ball.
Well, he scored 5 goals already this season, and he had a useful opportunity there in the very first minute. Donald Cusack pucking it out towards Jerry O'Connor. Comes back towards Sean O'Halpine, in toward Tom Kenny. Battle for supremacy in midfield is going to be interesting. Here's Sean Fitzpatrick, 45 metres out from goal, swinging his stick there, trying to get a shot in, but falls as far as Sean O'Halpine once again. Taken down here with some comfort. But then having difficulty getting it away was Ken Coogan. Here's Martin Comerford, this year's captain. Once again inside for Sean Fitzpatrick, looking for the opening score, and that's 2 wides by Kilkenny. Well, remember in last year's final, it was Cork who were playing in the same way, left to right in the first half, and they had all the wides in the first half. Well, I mentioned that people are going to be watching this game all around the world, and so they are. I mentioned the defence forces in Kosovo and Liberia. They're watching it in a certain hostelry in Philadelphia as well, in Tierno. Everybody who's watching wherever you are, hope you enjoy it. Here's Tommy Welch. Breaks down into the centre again. John Hoyne, can he make some advancement here? Back as far as Eddie Brennan, who's come out very deep this time, and that is also sent wide. 3 wides, Michael, and we haven't even played 2 minutes.
Yeah, very unusual for Kilkenny. Eddie Brennan, 2 great chances, and young Fitzpatrick, a great chance to settle into the game. See, DJ and Eddie Brennan seem to be changing around, but everyone else is playing in their normal positions.
Well, they're changing their team around, I think, in order to try and distract Cork and to try and stop Cork hitting out the early puck out. The quick puck out is a tactic which Cork have been using all summer. Brian Murphy there, down as far as Timmy McCarthy. Holding it in towards Brian Corcoran, who's not wearing the usual black helmet this afternoon. Trying to get his fullback in difficulty there. Corcoran getting support here. The support's with Ben O'Connor. 20 metres out, still Ben O'Connor is kicked away in the end there by JJ Delaney. Not too far, only as far as Niall McCarthy. And the referee's whistle sounds, and it's going to be a free end for Cork and a chance for them to take the lead. The chop down is the decision by Eildon Macsivna. Watch it again here. Referee had no doubt indicting Derek Ling. And Niall McCarthy really fired up for the action here. It's going to be Joe Dean to hit it. Some 30 metres out. Breeze into his face because it's swirling from that Hill 16 end. Straight over the bar, first score of the match. Cork go in front.
And Jared Brian Corcoran there shows what he brings to this Cork team. He's a disaster for a fullback. It's impossible to get away from him. He's hooking and blocking and tipping, and he kept the ball in there that time with a 1-3, and that's what he brings. He brings great balance to this forward line.
It also helps, I think, Michael, the fact that he played in the backs for so long and knows all the tricks.
He's a great hurling brain. It makes no difference where he is.
Absolutely. Pressure once again here. This is Ronan Curran. He's had a storming season for Cork, and I'm sure it has to be one of the Kilkenny tactics to put the shackles on him. And Kilkenny have a range of options there. The other centre-half forward is Niall McCarthy. Up towards Jodine again, getting loose of Michael Kavanagh. Troubled by injury during the week. Inside, Tommy Welch taking the steam out of that one. The clearance from some 20 metres out from his own goal. Way down towards Henry Shefflin. Broken away from Henry. Back out to Jerry O'Connor. O'Connor and Tom Kenny operating in midfield for Cork. It's Ling and Coogan for Kilkenny. Stopped over there by Michael Kavanagh. Spills loose, however. JJ Delaney again. Well, you heard earlier on DJ Carey saying he's a candidate and a strong one for Hurler of the Year for the 2nd year in a row. Here comes the other number 7. It's Sean O'Halpine. And he's held it. It's going to be a free downfield. This is O'Halpine trying to wriggle his way clear of the attentions there of Martin Comerford and also Henry Shefflin. John Gardner to take this free. A study in concentration. Low into the corner this time. It was the tactic against Wexford to give Joe Dean decent ball. It spills loose this time, and the referee says some holding, and it's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Cork have made the better scoring start, but Kilkenny had the early chances. Well, there was a bit of a tug, I think, on the jersey. That's all I can make of it. James McGarry here, playing in his 25th championship match for the Cats. Big one down towards John Hoyne. Has quite a battle on his hands against Ronan Curran. Broken away there from Curran, but again, the ever-vigilant Sean O'Halpine is anticipating. That's what he's been doing all season. In towards Kieran Murphy, over there against James Ryle. Brian Corcoran is next in, hurling it forward along the ground. Kavanagh winning the race here against Joe Dean. 45 metres out from the Kilkenny goal. Michael Kavanagh, hooked, gets it away, out over the sideline, line ball to Kilkenny. Donald O'Grady, the manager of Cork, for the second year in a row, and for the second year he's taken them to the All-Ireland final. Well, he's intimated to me that this will be the end of his term. He took on the job for 2 years. Brian Cody, of course, 6 years in charge and already 3 All-Ireland victories. 2 magnificent hurling men. This line ball ready to be taken for Kilkenny here. Their midfielder, Ken Coogan. Henry Shefflin trying to roll it onto the stick. What a threat he is. Henry trying to come through, storming his way through. And he takes too many steps and the referee says free out. And Henry doesn't agree. He looked straight at the referee and he said, no way, referee, we'll watch and count. Yes, he was taking a lot of steps at the end there after he got the ball onto his stick and back to his hand. At this point here, that's where the steps began to be taken. Free out to Cork.
It was a marginal one, Gerald. He was going over anyway, you know, he was running out of space.
Donald O'Cusack has an injury. Straight away the physio is in to attend to him. Well, he's been ever present since coming in that great season for Cork of 1999. It could be a contact lenses problem. If it is nothing terribly serious, should be able to sort that out. Basically, looking around Croke Park today, it's an ideal day for hurling, and all the portents of doom from the forecasters thankfully never materialised. Let's hope it stays that way until at least 6 o'clock. So just 1 point to show for the opening 8 minutes of action. Kilkenny have had chances, however. Kilkenny also have whatever breeze there is blowing in the first half, blowing in their direction. Dropped that time by Tommy Welch. Ken Coogan is blocked by Ben O'Connor, comes back out to Derek Ling, the man who motors so effectively for Kilkenny at midfield. Timmy McCarthy battles for Cork and runs to Henry Shefflin, trying to bring some order to their play. Slipping on the surface this time, still gets it forward there towards Martin Comerford, his captain. Breaks loose, away by Murphy, out as far as the wing to Gardner. Skipping away from the challenges, John Gardner. Kicking it, he's a good footballer as well. Here's JJ Delaney. Into the corner, bad marking this time. Henry Shefflin looks up, should be a point here for Henry Shefflin, and it is. The teams are level. Bad marking for Cork on that occasion. Henry Shefflin was left loose. It was a pinpoint pass by JJ Delaney. Just look at Henry from the reverse angle. He took his time, steadied himself, and got a great score. He's happy. The puck out this time is taken by Kilkenny. Here's Cha Fitzpatrick following the pass by Henry Shefflin, and Kilkenny lead in the match. Cha Fitzpatrick's first score. So 2 points to 1, the Cats are leading.
Jerry, we've been talking all year about these short puckouts from Cork. You know, they're a disaster. There's no place in hurling. Let it out long and let your men fight for it. They shouldn't be on the field if they can't fight for a 50-50 ball.
On a day when 2 sides for the first time ever were beaten in the championship and reached the final. They call it in Kilkenny the Cat Flat. Gardner trying to make headway. Hefty challenge, however. And that's going to be a free. Referee in there to quieten things down. He's had a word with Peter Barry. Notebook out as well as we watch it again in reprise. Just a ticking for Peter Barry. The man he was challenging there was John Gardner. John, who missed the semi-final, his place was taken by Cian O'Connor that day. Ben O'Connor is the man who captains this side by virtue of Newtown Shandrum's victory in the Cork County Championship in 2003. He's already had one great day at Croke Park when they won the All-Ireland Club final on St Patrick's Day. Looking for another, and he's put this one to the right and wide. that battle. There are so many key battles this afternoon, Michael Dignan. The battle between Ben O'Connor and JJ Delaney, it's a tasty one.
It is, yeah. It's hard to see JJ Delaney being beaten. The best hurler in the country over the last 2 or 3 years, along with Henry Shepton. And I think he'll get the better of Ben O'Connor there.
And here comes Ken Coogan, settling into his task at midfield well, having missed the opening match of the Leinster Championship. That movement broke down when they ran into a group of Cork defenders who were unyielding. John Gardner whipping it away low down towards Brian Corcoran, who advances away off the full forward position, takes the full back with him, space inside. Gary Murphy trying to make some headway, and Ryle deemed to have pulled his man back. It's a free into Cork. Kilkenny leading by 2 points to 1. Early stages in the All-Ireland final. A ticking for Ryle for his troubles that time. James Ryle, seen as a novice this time last year, but he's shown his strength and a lot of resolution this season following his recall against Galway. That match in Thurles, of course, which we brought you on the Sunday game programme. Joe Dean ready to level things up. Over the bar. 2 shots at the target from frees for Joe Dean. 2 points as well. Well, great to see Hill 16 packed this afternoon. Michael and myself were doing a little piece around about 1 o'clock, and in particular looking at the breeze that comes in from the bay, and it does swirl around over there. You can never really absolutely predict which side it's favouring at any one time. Right now, no question in the linesman's mind about whose ball it is. It's very definitely a Cork ball. The Cork side without Sean Oak's brother Satanta this season, but he came back on Friday last, I believe, and is there watching the match. Not much to choose in terms of possession between the teams, and nothing to choose on the scoreboard. Great cut. The fullback again in difficulty, and runs on for Dean, taking on Kavanagh. Joe Dean, jersey pulled, he goes through, tries to get off the stick, off the crossbar, comes in, and it's Ben O'Connor who puts it into the side netting. Oh dear, oh dear. There was a glorious chance for Cork, just as Kilkenny had a goal chance earlier on. It fell to Joe Dean. Watch this one come off the crossbar. Bang down. Ben O'Connor was coming in after it, and the ball hit the side netting. It's still 2 points apiece. By now, each side could have a goal to its credit. Back with the action. Once again, a very determined and focused Kilkenny side, with Eddie Brennan setting it off there towards John Hoyne. Once again, they try to make some headway, and that is lashed high, and it's over the bar. Great point, and it's Martin Comerford, the captain, who scores, and Kilkenny lead by 3 points to 2.
You're considering everything that's at stake today. 28 All-Irelands each. Kilkenny going for 3-0. It's a good, great, lively start. Not too much tension out there. And, you know, straight away we're into a lovely pattern. 2 great goal chances either end. And Brian Corcoran again showing his experience. They're letting the ball break into Joe Dean.
Mal McCarthy breaks it down, but there are 3 Kilkenny players there waiting for it. One of them is Peter Barry. They're slipping and sliding in the Cork defence. Martin Comerford was racing after it, but it's Wayne Sherlock who has it. Played a great game last year when he was marking Eddie Brennan. And that ball has gone out of the sideline, and it's gone wide. So line ball. Interesting how Kilkenny are shaping up their inside forward line today. Eddie Brennan and Martin Comerford, very much the target players. But John Fitzpatrick is filling in between the half forward line and the full forward line. And there are other dangerous forwards all making tricky runs as well to counter. Broken down by Brian Murphy towards Jerry O'Connor. Murphy is in again there. Jerry taking command of the situation against John Hoyne. Out towards Wayne Sherlock. Oh dear. Too many steps taken, and a free in for Kilkenny, and an easy scoring chance for them. Should be a 4th point. Eldon Maximna indicating with the rotation of his hands that there were more than the 4 steps taken. Attention required by Brian Murphy as they look pensive in the stand. It was Jerry O'Connor who was offloading this one here to Wayne Sherlock. Too many steps taken by the Black Rock man. And a free in. Running repairs being done to Brian Murphy this time from the Bride Rovers Club in Rathcormac, although he's from a neighbouring village, Bartlemy. Had a very good season, Brian Murphy. It's his 7th championship appearance. This is it again here.
Yeah, Jerry, it's a big feature of the modern game, the standard of tackling. You know, forwards are now expected to do the very same work as defenders. When the other team's defenders have the ball, close them down, and that the fitness levels are so high now, it's very, very difficult to get away. And that's where the hand pass is coming more into the game, because players, it's the only way they can create room is to play the hand pass and to put the man in space and let him clear the ball.
They've got a great deal to choose between the teams so far, but Kilkenny can go 2 points clear at this stage, and indeed they should. It's going to be Henry Shefflin to put this one over. Straight in front of the goal and only 24 metres out. A point from play already. Up and over, hit with confidence. And Kilkenny lead this match by 4 points to 2. Great sense of occasion, and there's a concern about Brian Murphy still limping that time as I was watching off shot towards the left corner forward, the left corner back position. Meanwhile, JJ Delaney again. Shonago Halpine getting under this right in the centre of the field, driving it a mile, but driving it well wide. 3 wides now for Cork. Not something that the inside forwards are going to appreciate too much, but just watch this again here. Beautifully caught. Nicely taken under some considerable pressure.
It's early stages, Ger, but Cork half-forward line again struggling to win primary possession from the puckouts.
Interesting that with Kilkenny so far, their first 3 shots were wide, and the next 4, and this is the 5th, were all points. Pressure on the keeper, he does well. Donald Cusack outside towards the wing here. Wayne Sherlock linking up here with Jerry O'Connor. Big one down towards Brian Corcoran, struggling, runs on for Kieran Murphy, couldn't quite get a decent connection on it. Half hit it, easy for James McGarry. Under the dropping ball is Tom Kenny, good catch, good layoff towards Niall McCarthy. Kilkenny are in quickly with Peter Barry. There too to help out is Ken Coogan, he's a towering man in midfield, gives a lot of strength and resolution to the midfield play for Kilkenny. And that little pile-up will result in the ball being thrown in by referee Eardon Macsivna. He was in charge, of course, when Kilkenny won the first of what they hope will be a 3 in a row. That was Kieran Murphy just a little while ago there. No problems whatsoever for McGarry. Derek Ling going in there against Tom Kenny. Picked up here by DJ Carey. First time we've really seen him in this match, laying it off to John Hoyne, outside to Martin Comerford, going for the point. Good score!
That's a brilliant score, Gerard.
Great point indeed by the captain, Martin Comerford. Taking that pass outside beautifully and walloping it over. That's 2 points for the day, and Kilkenny lead by 5 points to 2.
Gerard, I haven't seen DJ looking as sharp for a long, long time. He's after been involved there twice in 2 scores already, 2 quick little hand passes. He knows he hasn't the legs he used to have, so he's using his head now more than ever.
He has changed his game. He's had to change his game over the last number of years. He works very hard around the half-forward line. As we watch Walls from way, way out hit this one to the left and wide.
Jerry has changed his game, but he's such a great player, he can do that. You know, he can't rely on his speed anymore. He's still lively enough over the first 5 yards, but uses his head all the time. And what about Tommy Walsh and JJ Delaney? They're absolutely dominating there for Kilkenny, and Cork are in big trouble in these puckouts.
Again, they try to vary the puckouts. They get it this time as far as Niall McCarthy, trying to make headway against Peter Barry. Not easy. Back to Gardner it comes. Can they advance and get the ball into their inside forward line? Going long towards Kieran Murphy this time. Ryle touches it down. Inevitably there's support there. Delaney was around. Ryle doesn't need him. Gets it out here towards Peter Barry. There's a push by Niall McCarthy, and it's going to be a free out to Kilkenny. Well, after the early misses, which more or less set the trend from a Kilkenny point of view, they have taken a firm command. But still only 3 points between the teams.
Kilkenny will be a lot happier though, Gerard. They're winning a lot of the key 50-50 battles all over the field.
Ling's ball inside has dropped down. They come after it again with Shefflin. Out there was Brian Murphy. It's Wayne Sherlock in there, and next it's Shonago Halpine trying to dodge his way around Eddie Brennan. The hand pass outside missed. Lonan Curran was there to help out. They get it away down as far as Timmy McCarthy. He's come way off the left half forward position. Here he is now. Tom Kenny's just ahead of him, supporting. Kenny's got it, racing forward, taking on Derek Lane. Dragged around, Kenny with the shot, swinging it in, going right. They might keep it in yet. Just about do so. JJ Delaney is back there, the left half back. Looks over his shoulder, spots where Kieran Murphy was. Good hoop. Next the challenge by Ben O'Connor. Cork get it back here. They work it in beautifully with Murphy into the corner. Ben O'Connor once again. Right on the end line, the referee sees some tugging and it's going to be a free in. Referee is very vigilant where that's concerned, indicting the Kilkenny backs for not the first time by any manner of means, and it's going to be a free in for this. Well, it's been 9 minutes since Cork have had a score. That was a great hoop just moments ago there by Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields. 2 out of 2 for Joe Dean so far from frees. He's Cork's only scorer. This to put 2 between them. Well, their third point has come in the 22nd minute. Last year in the final, they scored 3 points at up to half-time, and 2 of those had come in injury time. It was 9-3 at the break that time. James McGarry from famed Bennett's Bridge to hit this one. Wind behind him, he gets it away. Stopped here in the centre by Jerry O'Connor. Tommy Walsh nursing it to himself, the UCC student. Stopped by Joe Dean. Timmy McCarthy was available. It's Peter Barry who comes in to take possession. The hand pass, looking for somebody in support. There's a runner there, Derek Ling. Ling coming forward. Trying to do a nice, decent solo run here, trying to get some space in which to swing the stick. He does enough, he does brilliantly. Great play by Derek Ling, the midfielder. Well, that's a great example of great teamwork by a great team. You saw the foraging of the half-backs, and then the release of that ball to Derek Ling, and the result, a great score. 3 men unable to dispossess him. 6-3.
Yeah, Gerard, a lot of talk about the athleticism of Cork, but Derek Ling showed there, there's athletes in Kilkenny as well. Donald Cusack got lucky here, took a quick puck out without over the line, and now he's been allowed to retake it, so Cork are lucky there.
Michael, Brian Murphy, the left quarterback, is in trouble. I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue. And Cian O'Connor, I think, will be the one they might bring in. Maybe. He was the player who played right half-back last day.
Yeah, Pat Mulcahy's another option, you know, the super final last year. So.
Correct, he is. Might not have as much match practice, however, as Cian. Again, the management team are concerned. Donald O'Grady's been out speaking to the linesman. Referee says play away. Cork are still in a muddle what to do with these puck outs. Go short or go long. This time it's a long one. Way down beyond the half-forward line. And it's stopped once again by JJ Delaney. What a match he's playing. He never plays a poor game, and Ben O'Connor is having his work cut out to limit the effectiveness of number 7 for Kilkenny. Just look at this again. He's like a man up there, plucking apples off a neighbour's apple tree, as we go down to Marty Morrissey for an update on injuries. Marty?
Indeed, Chair, Brian Murphy does have a problem, and the Cork management have decided to bring in John Brown from Blackrock. They're also very, very concerned about the dominance of Derek Ling and Ken Coogan in midfield, and they're anticipating a change there as well.
It's going to be a free once the referee has sorted things out.
And Martin Comerford and Dermot O'Sullivan, bit of a set to there.
DJ Carey about to hit this from his inside his own half. Inside his own 65-metre line, in fact. This will be some point by DJ if he gets it. Not quite. Most of his scoring nowadays comes from set pieces, as it were, 65s and long-range frees, although he's been known still to chip in with some absolutely glorious scores from play.
Jerry, I don't agree with this now. Donald Cusack is well entitled to take a puck out if he wants to. Just because the referee is not ready, it's up to the referee to get back into position. That's twice he's made him take it back and took it out again.
I wonder if that was what, as we watched the number 4 being shown there, Brian Murphy coming off, I wonder if that was what Donald O'Grady was chatting with the referee, Erdogan Maksibna, before the game.
I'd imagine so. Cork are looking to up the tempo now, you know, they need to get a couple of scores. But
as you say, there's no law against it. Here's DJ Carey. advancing. There are 3 after him, but the dodger is free. 40 metres out. Hand pass into space. Nobody there to receive the pass except the Rock. And the Rock is Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne in Cork. Getting it away there towards the sideline, out of the line again. Line ball to Kilkenny. And all of the pressure right now at this phase of the game, with 25 minutes gone, is on the Cork backs. Here's DJ once again here, sprinting there clear. Really stamping his authority on the match. And remember, he's playing today in his 54th championship game. James Ryle put under pressure, needing support. He holds it up, in come the half-back line to mop it up, and inevitably it's Peter Barry to help out. Experienced campaigner there, the man who was keeping tabs on Niall McCarthy this afternoon. But he's using his great experience as well. Did he pick the ball up, and did he pull the man down in all of that? Got away with it.
While Kilkenny are doing all the hurling, they're 3 points up, and there's a very strong wind. They seem to have it in their favour. So if Cork can get through this phase, they're still well in the game.
Oh, Halpine outside here for John Brown to come on to. First touch wasn't good. Little bit ring rusty, John Brown of Blackrock. Over there again is Delaney. He's mastering that situation, and they may have to make a move, Cork, in the half-forward line pretty quickly. That's Jerry O'Connor. Jerry is dragged down, and it's going to be a free for Cork. So it's going to be Ben O'Connor, the captain from Newton Chandram, who will hit this.
I think Kilkenny are going to be happy to give away frees all day in that distance. Put the pressure on Cork to put them over. Don't let them run at them. I'm not saying it's a tactic of theirs, but, you know, Jerry O'Connor was stopped there 90 yards from the goals on the sideline. No great danger. It'd be a great free to score.
Well, we still haven't seen a Cork point from play so far after 27 minutes. Here's a free, and that has gone wide. 6-3. Let's go down to Marty once again.
Yes, I just spoke to Brian Murphy in the Cork dressing room, and it's not a hamstring or a groin. He suffers from migraine, and consequently he gets double vision. And Brian Murphy, your heart goes out to him. He's very, very disappointed. He's heartbroken in the dressing room, but it's because of the double vision problem that he had to come off.
Well, that is a sad thing for a young player. He'll be back. Right now it's Sean O'Halpine towards Joe Dean, runs on there towards Brian Corcoran. The challenge then has been met well by the Kilkenny backs. Peter Barry driving it down, picked up here once again by Ken Coogan, swinging it across over there towards Eddie Brennan. Brennan trying to advance on the end line, stopped by Wayne Sherlock, looking to make a better angle for himself. Does so, but doesn't score. Very much a one-man scoring machine on his own, but not linking up terribly well with the others. There was a support player there, and that was Sean Fitzpatrick.
Several players coming through, Gerard. It was a feature in the minor match too a few times. You know, players are very individual at times now. DJ has shown it there a couple of times, you know, to give on the ball. Doesn't matter who scores if you're going to win the match.
That's 6 wides now for Kilkenny. And another long puck out this time, beyond JJ Delaney this time again. He goes back to try and stem the tide. Tommy Walsh coming in to help. Another great wing back for Kilkenny. Dragged down. Free to Kilkenny. It's gone quite ragged. Here he is once again, Tommy Walsh. Coming into challenge was Niall McCarthy from Carrick-Touhul. Because Cork didn't retreat quickly enough, the ball is brought forward an extra 13 metres closer to the Cork goal. So DJ Carey right in the middle of the field right now, a chance of his first score of the day. Went close with the last one, and this one has gone left. It stays Kilkenny 6, Cork 3. Coming up to a half an hour gone.
Really at this stage, sure, Kilkenny should be 8 or 9 points up, you know. And Cork have been beaten all over the field. Their confidence is down, but if they go in at half-time only 3 or 4 points down, they'll have a chance to regroup.
Just a goal chance each presented so far, none availed of, as Timmy McCarthy tries to make some headway. There's a lot of fouling by Kilkenny's backs as Cork tried to make any kind of advances in their own half-forward line. Joe Dean coming out to hit this one. No great particular hurry about Joe. This is Timmy McCarthy just a little while back. And there he was being restrained. Change of plan by Cork. And they've decided that Ben O'Connor will take over the free taking. Once we watch the end of that little piece of action.
Very difficult thing to do, Ger. Ben O'Connor's not having a good game. He hasn't felt the weight of the ball once, and all he's getting is very, very difficult frees. It's very hard to score them when you're not in the game generally. Free taking is a confidence business, and he's not playing well. It's difficult to score these frees.
He's missed 2 so far, Michael, as he hits this one right between the posts and over. That might get his confidence going. And now there are only 2 points between the teams. But all of Cork's scores, their 4 points, have come from frees.
You see Ben O'Connor's gone into the corner now. Kieran Murphy out in the wing. They'll have to do something with JJ Delaney. The first thing I do is don't fuck the ball out to him. If you don't fuck it to him, he can't get it.
Henry Shefflin has gone into full forward. Martin Comerford has gone out to the number 10 position as Ken Coogan tries to link up with a colleague, but the 2 Cork midfielders are there in unison. And in the end, the referee blows his whistle and will, for the second time, throw the ball in. Quite scrappy in terms of possession. There you go. Tom Kenny helped there by Jerry O'Connor. Niall McCarthy trying to bulldoze his way through, nothing going. Lack of flow and a bit of fluency required, a bit more creativity. John Fitzpatrick across. David O'Sullivan out quickly, first time, way down. Stopped by Derek Ling. Coming to take it is Martin Comerford. Now at right half forward. We're playing in the centre for this particular phase of the game. JJ Delaney can't do anything with it. His man, Kieran Murphy, hitting it forward towards Brian Corcoran. Timmy McCarthy with Brian Corcoran going forward. It's Brian Corcoran. Great roars of approval from the Cork fans as he puts it over the bar. First point from play for Cork comes after 32 minutes. Scored by Brian Corcoran. And now there's just one between the teams. Brian Corcoran, who in 1992 lost an All-Ireland final to Kilkenny, but was named Hurler of the Year. He won an All-Ireland in 99 and was again named Hurler of the Year. Today he's just looking for the medal. 6-5.
He was man of the match here 12 years ago, Jared. Brilliant score. We have a Cork man down.
It may well be Wayne Sherlock as I look around here just to see everybody else. He's the one I can't see right now. I think it is Sherlock. It is. Dr. Con Murphy coming in there to attend to him. Well, it's tough and it's tight, and nothing is given lightly. It's no classic, there's no great flow, but it's the All-Ireland final, and the Liam McCarthy Cup is up for grabs. Ronan Curran there against John Hoyne. Referee again wants to throw the ball in, but first, before all of that, he might be having some words. John Hoyne and also Ronan Curran. I think the referee just saying to the two of them, right lads, no more of that, calm it down.
Yeah, Jerry, Wayne Sherlock, he's not that type of player to go down easily, and he's very agitated, so obviously he got some sort of a belt off the ball, but that's part and parcel of these big games. And then John Hoyne and Ronan Curran, 2 strong men getting involved there as well.
Well, Wayne Sherlock is marking Eddie Brennan right now as we watch the referee issue the cards, one apiece to Cork's number 6 and to Kilkenny's number 11, John Hoyne.
Kilkenny will not be beaten if it comes to a physical game, no chance.
We're inside the last minute of the first half. James McGarry ready to hit, just a point in it. Again, he targets the right half forward. This time a bit of holding by Cork, and the referee says free in, jersey pulling. And there will be at least 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first 35. Once again, DJ Carey coming out, and it's proving to be one of those days when the free taking might be all important. DJ's leaving it to Henry Shefflin. A change of responsibility.
And maybe a shifting of the guard there, Jerry. You know, DJ takes the long free, Shefflin just come out and said, give me the ball, I'm taking this one. The new is replacing the old.
Well, he's got 2 points so far, one from play, one from a free. They're all important, and this one drops down nicely and drops down over the bar. It was a good decision on Henry's part to come and take that, because there are 2 points between the teams, and we're into injury time. Kilkenny needed that one, you know, it's their first point in some 12 minutes. Henry Shefflin again here, taking on John Gardner, trying to go by, stop, McCarthy's there as well, and Henry Shefflin takes far too many steps, holds on too long, free down for Cork. All this while Kilkenny have had whatever breeze is going in the first half. Only 2 points in it. Gardner to hit this free. As we know, there will be at least 4 minutes of additional time.
It's no classic, Jaron. Most of the big performances are coming from the Kilkenny players, but they're only 2 points up, and Cork are going to be very happy going in at half time if they can keep it at this.
Gardner dropping it in this time. Brian Corcoran's in around there. It's back dropped by JJ Delaney down to Joe Dean, coming way out, spooning it outside to Jerry O'Connor. 6 points in the semi-final and 1 today. Jerry O'Connor coming up from midfield, and it's 7 points to 6. 1 from 1 for Jerry O'Connor, but look at Joe Dean. He had to work really hard. Came well away from his men, not just man. Out for O'Connor. Beautifully laid off for the number 9 to come on to, and he looks confident. His first of the day. Referee having words in the middle of the field. Again, he's going to throw the ball in. Not quite sure what happened there. I think it just hit him. Here's John Gardner. Away he comes once more on his left side into space. It's too long. Runs beyond everybody. Gardner. Oh dear, that shot by John Gardner was very nearly taken by Joe Dean. Well, it was McGarry coming out. It didn't look the greatest of passes. It was skidding in the turf beyond Joe Dean. Fumbled by James McGarry, and it could so easily have been the opening goal of the game.
And you know, Jerry, I wish Cork could see the light. This running game, the whole lot. Just get the ball and give it into the full forward line. Brian Corcoran is causing havoc in there. He's coming and showing for every ball. If they play the simple game and move it in there fast, they look very dangerous. But this running with the ball, there's no place for it today either.
Yes, it's Noel Hickey who's having a very uneasy time against Brian Corcoran. John Brown misses it this time. Hurley came out, but there was a tap by one of the Kilkenny players, and John Brown winning a free for Cork. Kilkenny still leading.
John Brown has played very little hurling, Jerry, over the last couple of years. He looks rusty enough to me now, and you know, I know he's very experienced, but he doesn't look overly comfortable out there.
Well, it's a curious decision, as you say, Michael, or infer, that he hasn't played a great deal. Such a huge occasion. David O'Sullivan's shot is going left, and it's gone wide. Frustration for Brian Corcoran there. He needs decent ball. The others have got a supply. So about a half a minute to go of the additional time now. Who will win the McCarthy Cup and become champions for the 29th time? Once again, it's John Brown here. Goes straight into Coogan that time to Jerry O'Sullivan. Cork get away with it, wasn't shoulder to shoulder. And that's gone left, and it's gone wide. 1 from 2 for Jerry O'Connor. And 7 wides now for Cork in the first half. Some concerned Kilkenny fans up on the stands here. Great sightlines all around the new Croke Park. Only 1 point in it at the break as Ealdon Moshsivna blows the whistle. There were a number of goal chances presented to both teams. The last one to Joe Dean as DJ Carey comes off, having contributed handsomely. But will just a 1 point lead, having played with the wind, be sufficient for Kilkenny to hold on to the title they've had for the last 2 years? They're going for 3 in a row. Cork are going for their first title in 5 years. And as the mist comes down at Croke Park, the half-time score here shows just a point between the teams. And it is the champions of 2003, Kilkenny, who lead Cork by 7 points to 6. Let's go down to Marty Morrissey.
Noel Skehan, what do you think of that first half?
Well, I suppose we're leading it, Marty, anyway. That's all I can say about it. It's not great. Cork and Kilkenny hurling is a lot better than that normally. It's very tight. Both sets of backs are playing very tight. Conditions not helping things. It's hard to say. It's an All-Ireland final, like, and, you know, these things happen in All-Ireland finals, like, you know.
But you've dominated, but yet on the scoreboard you're running 1 point up.
Yeah, that's quite true. We had a lot to play, but I suppose I say the conditions have a fair bit of play with it, to be quite honest. The ball is wet, it's heavy, and players will find it very hard to keep their feet, like, you know.
Thank you, Noel, for joining us. I know you're going into the dressing room. John Allen, Cork selector. 31 minutes before you got your first point from play. It must be a little bit worrying.
Absolutely, Marty. We for the first half, Kilkenny have dominated the first half. They haven't put enough scores on the board. They had 3 wides in the first 3 minutes. We probably had 2 goal chances, but certainly over the course of the hour, as you said, or the half an hour, we got 31st minute before we scored. But as you said to Noel there, they dominated the first half, yet they're only a point ahead. So all in all, we're happy enough, you know.
Are you going to make any changes? You seem to have a problem in midfield. The 2 Kilkenny lads, Derek Ling and Ken Coogan, are doing well.
Yeah, like as Noel said there as well, you know, it's reflected in the score, like 7 points to 6. Sticky day, windy day. Clay can, you know, pass midfield, so probably not, you know, but we'll see how things go now.
Thanks a million, John, for joining us. Thank you.
Yes, there you've heard it all. Just a point in it. Half-time, the All-Ireland champions are leading, and Tomas Mulcahy is still no sight at the end of the tunnel. It's all tight, it's all tense, as the lad said there.
It's very tense, Michael, and very, very tight, you know, and like Cork are probably happy going in at half-time that they're done a point, but they'll be very disappointed with their performance, Michael. It's been poor in the first half period, and like there's been mistakes made from puck-outs, dropping balls short, and they've gifted Kilkenny 1 or 2 points on that front. But they've, like, around midfield on our half-hour line, we struggled, right? And I think we struggled because of trying to do the short puck-out. Niall McCarthy's coming way out from centre-forward, trying to win ball, right out into the middle of the field. He's crowding it with Tom Kenny.
And the midfielders coming back into the half-back line.
The midfielders are coming back in. There's no space, no room there. We need the space, we need the room to actually win this game.
Well, we don't know who's going to win the All-Ireland medals yet, but here's a man who has won a medal this year, the Olympic gold with Cian O'Connor, and he's being introduced to the crowd here at Croke Park at half-time, and also a special presentation, as you can see, being made by Liam Mulvihill, our steward who are coming to the Pascale, and by Sean Kelly, the president.
The ball down top of JJ Delaney. Number 1 rule is, for anyone, don't puck the ball, you puck out on top of JJ Delaney. Against Ben O'Connor, he's cleaning him out. Tommy Welch in the other wing. But I think the real thing for Cork is, you know, their first game plan hasn't worked.
No,
they have to go to game B now, which is get the ball as fast as you can into the full forward line. Dean and Cork are not looking dangerous. Even Mill Murphy's looking well. If they get the ball in there. But they're holding it up too long when they get to half-back line, trying to lay it off that fella in the wing. A day like today, that's
well, in fairness, Brian
Corcoran
is doing exactly what Cork would have wanted of him today, and he's causing a bit of trouble in there, and he got a nice point as well.
Well, that's what he's there for, Michael. He's there for his big physical presence, number 1, but obviously to get scores, number 2. But like, you can't get scores if possession isn't coming into you, right? I mean, here he is, look. I mean, he's 40 yards out from goal, you know, to get possession. Oh, it's a fantastic score. And I mean, he takes the point very well, and I mean, I think that was our first point from play after a long, long time. But like, you saw how far he had to come out from goal to win possession.
Because he's half-forward line.
Exactly. Trying to get short puck-outs, right? Okay. No, I take your point about JJ Delaney, like putting balls down on top of him, right? But there are times you just, when the goalkeeper gets possession, you've got to just drive it as far as you can. Somebody has to get underneath the man that's catching the ball just to break possession. We saw Niall McCarthy last year against Peter Barry. I mean, he gave Peter Barry a very thorough time under the dropping ball.
Very little dropping ball today.
He has had to come very far out.
It's going to the wings instead.
It's gone out to the wings,
And you had that nonsensical ball going out to Sean O'Halpine in the first 10 minutes. Gift Shaft Fitzpatrick a point. Today is a day, a wet day like today, a windy day like today. Go long and get your centre forward to break it, and your wing forwards come in and catch up the loose ball.
I mean, that's the strength of Jerry O'Connor and Tom Kenny is running onto the breaking ball. They haven't been able to do that today.
Gentlemen, thank you for that. Second half of the big game coming up right after these. Welcome back again. Kilkenny already out in the field. Cork, as you can see, just about to join them. So Kilkenny, the All-Ireland champions, lead by a point. No change in the Cork team that we know of, and we don't think there's any change in the Kilkenny team either. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Michael Duigan and Ger Canning.
Yes, well, few notable scores in the first half. Some fine defending, we can say as well, but overall poor fare. And we're looking for a great deal better in the next 35. And you know, tomorrow all that will matter is who won this afternoon's game, even by a point. Eodhan Moxivna is ready, just waiting for Jerry O'Connor to come back out and join Tom Kenny in the centre of the field. This time it will be Cork who will play from left to right. They'll have the breeze. The bit of mist we had in the first half has eased again, just momentarily at least. as DJ Carey takes command here. It's robbed by Tom Kenny. It spills back here to John Gardner. Gardner hitting it away to his right-hand side. Ryle has lost his stick. He's holding on to Ben O'Connor, who started in the corner. And that time it's JJ Delaney who nips in, flicks the ball away from Ben O'Connor. Line ball to Cork. 7-6 to Kilkenny. Donal O'Grady there. We just saw him momentarily as we watched this in reprise. It was JJ's flick out that resulted in the line ball for Cork. But Donal O'Grady is down there, right-hand side of the picture, issuing instructions to his forwards, trying to get a bit of width going. Well, just looking around, it is raining once again, but not heavily by any means. Heavy mist. Out into the centre it comes to Timmy McCarthy, trying to get some space for Cork. Jerry O'Connor dodging around DJ Carey, in towards Timmy McCarthy again. Cork look menacing here. Niall McCarthy holds on. His explosive shot is good. It's over the bar, and the teams are level for the third time.
It's a good goal chance, Ger. Now maybe a little bit more confidence. He hasn't been in the game much, so he was happy to tip it over the bar, but he was straight through there.
Yes, watching it in reprise, you're right, there was a goal on. He was happy enough to take it, however. Had support inside had he needed it from Brian Corcoran in particular. It's all old hat at this stage. Sean O'Halpine back out there as a free for holding O'Halpine. Free to Cork. Well, frees this afternoon are certainly proving to be very, very important. 78,212, by the way, is the official attendance. Just a little down as expected from last year. That's because of Hill 16. Gardner driving it in towards Brian Corcoran, runs on beyond the maul. Ben O'Connor trying to retrieve it. There too is Kieran Murphy in the blue helmet. It's JJ Delaney who has it. His jersey was being pulled, gets it out to the centre, but the strongly built Ken Coogan. It's Derek Ling down into the centre towards Hoyne, stopped by Gardner, trying to advance here towards Niall McCarthy, holding on somehow, challenged by Peter Barry. O'Halpine whipping it in towards Dean. Kavanagh getting there first. Michael Kavanagh giving the call, but leaving it there for Tommy Walsh. Walsh driving it away downfield towards Martin Comerford. Again, it's John Hoyne trying to get possession inside for DJ Carey. Quick injection of pace. Release down. Difficult one there for Eddie Brennan to hold. Right in the corner. Looking for options. Right across, dangerously across several Cork players, missed it. Still an opportunity here for Martin Comerford to turn, striking, still keeping it just short, and finally it goes wide. It was a chance. Still 7 points apiece. This is the reverse angle of that. Should have been a point for Martin Comerford. In the end, ended up being nothing. But there was a little touch. In fact, there was something. It's a 65, so obviously one of the Cork defenders touched it on its way out. Well, Henry Shefflin, who was close to it, has come out to take the 65. First 65 of the match as Donal O'Cusack organises his defence. Can Kilkenny go back in front again here? Hits it well, hits it nicely, beautifully delivered by Henry Shefflin. That's a fourth for the day. 4 shots at the target as well. Well, he went and drove through the ball there brilliantly. Lovely rhythm in the shot. Mention of rhythm, here comes Jerry O'Connor towards his brother Ben. The running game, they try to effect it. Will it drop inside? Not quite. Well, that's what Cork fans have been anticipating this afternoon. It's not the natural Cork game, the running game out of the middle of the field, but this is where Jerry O'Connor played it for his twin brother Ben, and he should have finished better than that.
Yeah, John, I just get the impression here, if one team could impose themselves for even 10 minutes, play a nice bit of simple hurl without even being spectacular, they could walk away with this game. Both teams are very, very jittery considering it's so long into the game.
Niall McCarthy checking his stride, inside for Dean. Kavanagh's in behind him, always breathing down his neck. Peter Barry with a simple hand pass out to John Hoy. Way down again, difficult for John Fitzpatrick to contain. John Brown's around over there. Wayne Sherlock, the number 2. Taken up by Wayne. He drives it 60-70 metres way downfield. Ken Coogan's back there. Back around in his own right corner back position. Quick release into the centre, not a good ball. A giveaway to Cork. Kieran Murphy trying to take it up. Timmy McCarthy's trying to roll it onto his stick as well. Now Joe Dean is next, taking on Michael Kavanagh. Still Joe Dean. Now McCarthy also, it's a right scramble. It almost typifies the match. Joe Dean finally bringing some order to it all, striking it high, and that has gone to the left and it has gone wide. A lot of huffing and puffing, no great direction with the final effort, and a lack of flow in what is a disappointing All-Ireland final. Close, but not quite good enough. Might have just come off the post. And this Joe's reaction. Broken down by Henry Shefflin, the half-forward line. Well anticipated by Cork and Ronan Curran. Out it comes towards Jerry O'Connor. He was a sub who came on last year to play a part. Wayne Sherlock, and he is given the free, and it's Derek Ling who is very, very annoyed with that. The manager's pacing up and down. Brian Cody summoning more effort, wanting more life from his charges. That last little bit of play again, it was a free whistled against Derek Ling. Cork have an injured player. Brian Cody is really fired up, trying to get his team going. You've seen that sense of animation from him before, in particular in the game in the qualifiers against Galway. A match they simply had to win.
And this is the way Kilkenny have been hurling all this year, unusually for them. They've been not scoring that much and winning tight games all year, and they're just keeping their nose in front again today.
Who can take command of the situation? Gardner knocking it in. Breaks loose again. Nice play, JJ Delaney inevitably. What a match he's playing and what a season he's had. Jerry O'Connor responding. Should go straight at Michael Kavanagh and does. Quick look around to see what's on. Pumping it along, way down towards Martin Comerford. Breaks loose to the half-backs and to Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine on his right-hand side. Huge one in, beyond the full forward, trying to keep it in. Brian Corcoran struggling, ending up in the netting there, and it's going to be a puck out to Kilkenny. The kind of ball he's getting inside is not good, and that's 10 wides now by Cork. They could be throwing it away, but they're still only a point behind. Neither side playing particularly well. No great distinction or style in the game.
Very lackluster, Jared. It's kind of like a training session or something, you know. There's no great passion even out there. You'd wonder, you know, neither team really wants to win the game, or they're afraid of losing. What's going on?
John Gardner advancing here with some purpose. 45 metres out. The little shot as far as Brian Corcoran, trying to take it up, trying to get around a couple of defenders. He has Murphy there to help him out, and Kieran Murphy drives it over the bar. His first point of the match. Level for the fourth time. Cork 8, Kilkenny 8, and it's Kieran Murphy who scores. That's his fourth point in this year's championship.
And Gerald, Cork are lucky there. John Gardner caught the ball 3 times that time coming down the field on the solo run. The referee missed it, and it results in a score. Little thing like that can turn a game like an All-Ireland final.
Absolutely. James McGarry with the puck out.
And James Ryle now gone in full-back on Brian Corcoran. Just when has Noel Hickey been moved out of full-back over the last 5 years? Probably never. It just shows you the impact Brian Corcoran's having in this game.
Well, Noel Hickey had some problems in the Wexford match as well, and you remember what happened then as Derek Ling from way out the field drives it along, but drives it wide. Kilkenny this year, it seems to me, are just about edging out the opposition in all of their matches bar one. Will they do it again? Their fans would like to think so. Is the 3 in a row on? From the reverse angle, it's still 8 points apiece. The referee going down, out of shot to have a word with Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Well, no card issued. Just 2 yellow cards from our notes so far in the match for John Hoyne and Ronan Kern from the same incident in the first half. The puck out this time, straight down the centre, but it's won by a very alert Tommy Walsh. John Hoyne trying to drive it, trying to do his job on the 40, helped out by Walsh here. To the corner this time, towards Eddie Brennan. Drinking this way and that, back to Joe Fitzpatrick, ducking around, linking up with John Hoyne. Good Macy run by Hoyne, drag back, free into Kilkenny. No great defensive effort that time on the part of John Gardner.
But that's
the
the thing,
referee is going to isolate him.
Sorry, Jared, that's the thing about the game. Both backlines are well on top, but the forwards are creating loads and loads of chances. Like, actually, it's a long time since I saw forwards having so many easy chances, but they're not taking them, and they're hitting bad wides. And Joe Fitzpatrick there should have tapped that over the bar, and he hadn't the confidence, just passed it on again to John Hoyne there, you know. So, just 10 minutes good hurling from one team is going to take them out of sight there.
Well, there was an awful lot of hyper before the game, as you expect with finals. The teams haven't been able to live up to the billing. John Gardner got a yellow card for that, and now Henry Shefflin has got 4 points so far, ready to put Kilkenny back in front again. He does. 4 of his 5 points have come from frees. One of the magnificent 65. This was the incident a little while ago, and that was where the referee Diarmuid O'Sullivan noted the foul on Martin Comerford, but he didn't get a card for it. I'm sure he was ticked. Niall McCarthy wins this puck out well, does really well from that, and the shot is a brilliant one by McCarthy, and that's over the bar, and that's 2 points for Niall McCarthy, and it's Cork 9, Kilkenny 9. There hasn't been a draw in the All-Ireland hurling final for 45 years. Last time around it was Kilkenny as well. Then it was against Waterford. 1959 was the year. There's a long way to go here, however.
Jerry, you'll never see many better points than that in an All-Ireland final from a player who gets an awful lot of stick. Just shows you the way his hurling has improved and the confidence he has in himself.
Martin Comerford. Well, it would have been a great point from near the sideline. Couldn't quite manage it. He's got 2 points for the day so far. Captain by virtue of O'Loughlin Gale's victory last year in Kilkenny, but that was Kilkenny's 9th wide. The puck out this time again towards Niall McCarthy, who's breaking away to the left-hand side of the half-forward line to try and gather. Ball was touched on the ground. Referee says play on. They try to do so, and it's going to be a free to Cork. Might be worth taking a look at all of that again here. Peter Barry going across for it. Just watch what happened next. Yes, there was a hand put on the ball. Niall McCarthy was in there, so too was Peter Barry. Peter Barry, the one who's pulled up, however. Just 1 from 3 from free so far for Ben O'Connor, so not the greatest of success rates for him. The rain, the weather forecaster here telling you, has eased again. The wind, it's pretty strong still. It's supporting Cork, supporting Ben O'Connor right now. And that has gone to the right, and it isn't his day so far. But will he collect the cup? That's what it's all about. 9-all. Very tense. More tension than class, however, in this particular final. James McGarry pucking it away down. John Hoyne trying to win it, but it's Ronan Curran once again. Great centre-half back play. And it's missed completely this time by Noel Hickey, letting in the corner forward, Kieran Murphy, and that's another. It might turn the game around, early stages yet, but Cork have taken the lead at 10 points to 9. And Noel Hickey, who was out marking Murphy, slipped in the ground, missed it completely. Murphy was onto it in a flash, and it's over the bar. Nearly 50 minutes are gone.
Cork have got a few great scores from play now. Niall McCarthy, Kieran Murphy with 2, and they're beginning to impose themselves now in the game.
Cork lead for the first time since the 9th minute of the match. In the restructuring for Kilkenny, by the way, Ryle has gone to full back, taking on Brian Corcoran. Mentioned the full backs. Diarmuid O'Sullivan won that. Got it out as far as Jerry O'Connor. Now listen to the fans. It's beginning to get interesting and beginning to get exciting. The 2 Newton Chandran men in full flow here. Ben O'Connor checking his stride, back towards Timmy McCarthy. There's a point on, and he's put it wide. Still Cork 10, Kilkenny 9. Never mind the quality, feel the you-know-what. That was a really good chance there. The two O'Connor brothers, Ben and Jerry, had combined. It should have been a point for Timmy McCarthy, but he's still scoreless. The only one of the forwards who hasn't scored so far in this match. For Cork, that is. Meanwhile, Kilkenny coming again, having a lot of difficulty. Ken Coogan there, surrounded by Cork players, and for the third time, I think it is, if not the fourth, the referee is going to throw the ball in. Cameramen always pick out model-like figures in the crowd somehow. An art form. Defending valiantly back there is another artist, Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Now it's O'Halpine, shouldered out over the sideline. Line ball, Derek Ling doing well. What a battling game performer both men are. Line ball to Kilkenny. Following this, Ling usher the number 7 out over the line. Kilkenny goes short. It's back towards Derek Ling again. Can't take your eye off this for a moment now, as it really begins to hot up. The issue in doubt. Too many steps were taken by Derek Ling. Once again, the referee incurring the wrath of the Emeralds player. Emeralds from Urlingford, just over the boundary there with Tipperary, but very firmly part of Kilkenny.
Jerry, talk about turning points. I'd see that as a turning point in this game. Cork, their dander is up now. The spaces begin to open up out in the field now. Players are getting a bit tired, and Cork's running game is now beginning to come into practice. And you know, if they get the next score or two, they could go ahead and pull away.
O'Sullivan walloping it way down towards Corker, a new man to mark him, and it's taken there with some difficulty, and that's going to be a free out for a Jerfer. Arm pulling. Peter Barry doing well. Just look at the close-up action here. All eyes on the ball, and plucking it out of the air was Peter Barry. Magnificent play. So free to Kilkenny, just outside their own 20-metre line. James McGarry to play it, playing in his 5th All-Ireland final. A note that DJ, by the way, has gone into full forward. He's taking on Diarmuid O'Sullivan. It spills on beyond them all, in towards Henry Shefflin, trying to turn his man, who's Wayne Sherlock, back towards Eddie Brennan on the corner. Tricky angle, too tricky for Eddie, and that has gone wide. Eddie Brennan now playing right half forward, and Eddie Brennan hasn't scored. DJ Carey hasn't scored, and Timmy McCarthy, as I mentioned earlier for Cork, also hasn't scored. In fact, Brennan is 0 from 4. 4 shots at the target, but no joy. 10-9 to Cork. Midway now through the second half. The puckouts are better this time. Tom Kenny picking it up. Running at the Kilkenny defence, laying it off to his centre-half forward. Niall McCarthy turning, whipping it in high and over, and Cork lead by 2 points. 3 from 3 for Niall McCarthy.
It shows you how things can turn around in a year. Jerry, remember last year he had a few bad wides. 3 chances today, 3 great scores.
Well, just looking at the scoring chances, it's 10 scoring chances to 5 that Cork have had in the second half so far. Twice as many chances created by the team from the south. Battered down by Jerry O'Sullivan this time. Now the question's been asked of the defending champions. Away by Noel Hickey, now playing at left corner back. Securely held by Donal O'Cusack. He's got players in support. John Gardner's available. Back to Ronan Curran, his centre half back. Delivered long. Too long. Over the sideline. Line ball to Kilkenny. 2 between them.
Gerald, just one little observation. To me, Henry Shefflin is the best centre forward that I've ever seen in my time, and he's playing corner forward. Kilkenny have taken this option this year, take him off the centre backs who are the best players. In my view, if he's as good a centre forward as we all know he is, he should be out there taking responsibility and leading the attack from there.
Well, he certainly is the leading scorer by a mile, not just in this final, but in the championship. Again, it's Donal O'Cusack. Good clearance. Way down, JJ Delaney is under it, misses it this time. It breaks loose for Kieran Murphy, advancing inside. Noel Hickey is after him. Stopped, 45 metres out, it's a free to Cork. And Cork are really revved up now. Look at the contrast, the faces in the crowd. The Kilkenny supporters looking a little bit glum, but there's a lot of time yet left to go. 15 minutes still to play in the 116th All-Ireland hurling final. Free to Cork.
And Ger, how many times have we seen this before where the players that you don't expect, Kieran Murphy, Niall McCarthy, 5 points from play between them, you know, unsung heroes on other days, but really coming to the fore. It happens so often in Ireland finals.
It's a second point for Ben O'Connor, because you might have been surprised at the choice of Ben, who had missed frees earlier on, whereas Dean had a much better record. But this time the captain took the responsibility. He had to. And Cork lead by 3 points. But wherever you're watching it in the world, I hope you're enjoying it. It's suddenly sparked into life. Now we look for a Kilkenny response. DJ has no stick. Great hand pass inside. A real opportunity. Henry Shefflin stopped on the line, scrambled there by Donald O'Keefe.
What a save.
It was a great goal chance and a great save, as you say. Oh, what an opportunity for Kilkenny to have tied it up. Cork break again. Niall McCarthy scrambling away here. Getting away. Lobbing it into Joe Dean. There's a slip inside by Kavanagh. Regains his composure. And he goes swinging around the cornerback. Now the fullback, James Ryle.
Judging by the way the ref ran in there, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for that.
Let's watch it again here. That last effort save there on the line by Donald O'Cusack. Meanwhile, all eyes are on James Ryle. He's getting a talking to from the referee for stopping Joe Dean, and he's got a yellow card. 4 yellow cards issued by the referee, 2 per team.
Well, Ger, we're getting a bit of excitement and a bit of hurling now. We saw everything there. DJ Kerry, what a hand pass, 40-yard hand pass going the wrong way. Brilliant shot by Shefflin, brilliant save, and then ball straight up the field. Niall McCarthy again, who's absolutely outstanding, on his way to man of the match if Cork win this game.
Well, Joe Dean has had a chance to dry the handle of the helmet, or handle of the stick rather. Dried the helmet as well, but the handle of the stick, they got a towel out to him quickly, just to make absolutely sure they're now taking no chances. And right now Cork are in the driving seat of this final, leading by 4 points. 4 from 4 for Joe Dean. But look at the save once again just a moment ago here from Henry Shefflin. A really good stop by Donald O'Cusack. That might well turn the game in Cork's direction, but there's a long way to go. Nobody's going to be counting anything just yet. In the last game, the minor match, which was a real classic between Kilkenny and Galway, you know, Galway thought they had it, but Kilkenny came back strongly to draw that day, or this afternoon I should say. And it's going to be a free for Kilkenny. Let's watch this again, the stumbling figure here of Peter Barry, chased and harried the whole time by Niall McCarthy. Player down injured over there is John Gardner.
Well, he actually hit Martin Cum for the slap into the face there, but it wasn't anything too serious, but he went down himself on his head just to protect him. He'd be lucky to avoid a booking for that.
Well, the referee just trying to keep the calm and make sure that the game continues in a harmonious fashion. He's now going to speak to one of the officials. The umpire is also calling the referee. So let's see what the umpire saw. Eardon McSleevena from the St. Jude's Club. His own umpires. And what do they see regarding John Gardner? He's on a yellow card already, remember. So I think the referee has just indicated to him, take it easy, John. Nice and handy. You know what will happen otherwise.
And he's very lucky not to be on the line.
Still 15 against 15, and Henry Shefflin directs this one right to the right. Very wide indeed. Not a good effort by Henry, but still only 4 points in it. Many people see it as a rematch from last year. Others see it as part of a sequence that involved 1999 as well. 1 victory for Cork, 1 victory for Kilkenny, as it were. Where the counties are concerned, 28 victories each. Who will it be? Look at the scoring chances Kilkenny have failed to take. Not their afternoon so far, but they're capable of coming good in the next 10 minutes. That's what their fans will be hoping. Driven down by Peter Barry. Ronan Curran, the other centre half back, the Cork man, in a scramble there with Martin Comerford, and again the referee is going to throw the ball in. It's becoming a growth industry.
Yeah, Shefflin's at centre forward now. We were just talking about it a few minutes ago. That's the place for him.
Cork have it once again. Again, it's Wayne Sherlock. Well, he's away up from the corner-back position. Now at right half forward, dispossessed by DJ Carey, and the counter-attack is foiled because of a trip. And the man who had it was Peter Barry. That was great play. Watch DJ Carey here, just dispossessing. Wonderful skill by DJ to foil Wayne Sherlock. The counter-attack by Kilkenny. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The Rock, hand passing it out to John Gardner. 3 Kilkenny men were near him. Gets it away towards Kieran Murphy. Ryle booting it away. Just trying to keep it away from the dangerous Cork forwards. Ben O'Connor near the sideline. Gets it to Niall McCarthy. Trying to get away from James Ryle again. Loose marking this time. It's across towards Joe Dean. Kavanagh slow to close him down, then he pulls him back, and this is a real scoring chance for Cork, and Michael Kavanagh is the first to appreciate that, and the young fans, because right now Cork can take a 5-point lead. A ticking for Michael Kavanagh there, held back, but his first burst, he may have stumbled slightly when he began his sprint to try and cover Joe Dean, but he was too far off him. McGarry calling out the shots and instructions to the colleagues. Should be another one for Joe Dean. 4 so far. They're praying and hoping. Low trajectory, but it's over the bar. It's a 5th point for Dean. And Cork lead in the All-Ireland final of 2004 by 14 points to 9. John Fitzpatrick is being replaced by Conor Phelan from Clara. Kilkenny have to ring the changes. They've been winning close matches without playing particularly impressive this year. Not the same style or fluency of before. They need a big finish here.
Yeah, Gerard, the big difference in this half is the Cork half forward line generally, especially Niall McCarthy, but also Ben O'Connor and Timmy McCarthy. They're winning more ball from the puck out, and that's what any day Cork play well is when they can win some possession. They all have plenty of hurlers all over the field.
There's about 7 minutes left in the final as Tom Kenny advances up towards Brian Corcoran. Got a great point in the first half. Has a chance again. Trying to make an angle for himself. Needs support. Gets it there. Jerry O'Connor walloping it high into the crowd. It goes wide. It's the 13th wide of the match for Cork, but they still lead by 14 points to 9. Well, that was breaking a sequence of scoring chances for Cork. Their first miss really that time in 5 chances. Kilkenny having scored for quite a while. They need something. Ken Coogan driving it to the right. He's driven it wide, and it's not looking so good for them. They need scores quickly. And Brian Cody appreciating that more than anybody. What changes can he make? And Donal O'Grady, who'd be in his shoes right now. I know all the experts will have all kinds of views on this in the papers tomorrow, but those with PhDs in hindsight and doctorates in retrospection, well, they're the ones who are having the problem right now. It's all very well, but they have to make the decisions. Now is the hour for the two coaches and their players. A long season, the climax approaching. Dean, stopped by Kavanagh, held off. In comes Timmy McCarthy. Nice play by Kavanagh. He conceded a point to Dean a little while ago through the free. Not a good kick away. Stopped by Tom Kenny in the middle, battling in the centre with Jerry O'Connor. Brian Corcoran's there as well. Spooned out. Comes out into the centre. Helped there by John Gardner. Played away here towards Ben O'Connor, Cork's captain. Will he be lifting the Liam McCarthy Cup? 3 after him. Still 3 players. They try to hook him, stop him. Anyway will do. They get possession here with Peter Barry. Out towards James Ryle. 64 minutes are gone. It's still 14 points to 9. John Hoyne trying to get the ball downfield. Closed down by the Cork player. Great pressing by the Cork backs and midfielders. Kenny's down on the ground. And there could be a booking here now for one of the Kilkenny players. Real tension on the faces of the fans. John Hoyne is the one who's in trouble here. Watch this again in reprise. Hoyne was guilty of the foul there, and the player he made contact with down on the ground, Tom Kenny. It's a yellow card for John Hoyne. Or correction, it can't be a yellow card for John Hoyne, because I'm looking down here. The referee gave him a yellow card in the first half, so this time the referee has taken a decision, no yellow card, he's going to leave him stay on the field. But there's been consistency, because it could have happened to John Gardner earlier on.
It could, and it wasn't an awful lot in it, you know, he would have been very harshly sent off there.
Yeah. Ben O'Connor about to hit this. Well, this will put 6 points between the teams and only 5 minutes to play, and your money would have to be on Cork. It is. Ben O'Connor with 3 points. The Rebel fans are already celebrating, but it might be a bit previous. It's a long, long time since Kilkenny has scored in this game. Their last score was in the 47th minute. And here we are, 19 minutes later. This black, barren spell in the second half could be their ruin. Tommy Walsh trying to do something about it. Ken Coogan feeding it down. Kilkenny needing a goal. No better team to get it if they can. Stopped by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Last year it was bitter disappointment for Cork. This time Kilkenny are the ones who are putting in the late challenge. Henry Shefflin stumbling, like a player on ice over there. Whatever they say about the surface, he's struggling. Stars on ice it may be, but he couldn't keep his footing there when he had a really good scoring chance. Watch again. Went all over the place. Dreadful.
Yeah, Jared, any drop of rain on the pitch at all, we've talked about it before, it makes it very difficult. Donald Cusack again taking a short hand pass back from Diarmuid. So Cork are complicating things. There were 6 points up, just want to do the simple things well and finish out the game.
Brennan right across the face of goal, stopped by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. He drives it away down towards Joe Dean territory at top of the left. He comes way off his man out to the 65-metre line. The simple pass inside for Kenny. Remember the goalie going against Wexford? It opens up for him. There's a point for the taking, and he takes it. Tom Kenny from Grenagh with his first point of the match. And the 2 midfielders for Cork have scored, Kenny and Jerry O'Connor. In Cork they call him the Tom and Jerry show. And right now it's looking good for the Rebels, who lead with 3 minutes to go by 16 points to 9. Kilkenny, is there a comeback? It hasn't looked likely for some time, but that's a misunderstanding at the back there. Kept in there by the substitute, who was Conor Phelan. A couple of moments of indecision there by the Cork backs. Against a more focused Kilkenny, more sharper Kilkenny team than the side we're watching today, they would have been punished.
Yeah, they could have been, but Diarmuid O'Sullivan, I think, has been a big, big plus for Cork this year. He's just doing the simple things, watch the high balls, he's just batting them out, he's dominating the square, and he's not trying to be the hard man he was trying to be for the last few years. He's just doing his job, and he's a big, big plus to Cork.
Here comes John Hoyne, running in there to John Brown. Referee will give the free out. Not attempting to play the ball away. He will argue he hadn't any opportunity. 1.5 minutes left. Sean Dowling is coming into the match for Kilkenny, number 17, in place of Ken Coogan. Can he rescue the game? But he knows full well Kilkenny need a couple of goals quickly. Will Donald O'Cusack from Cloyne, the club of Christy Ring, will he be denied as Coogan goes off disappointed? But they haven't been up for it as well as they might today, Kilkenny. Two sides who struggled for a long, long time to get their game going. But finally, as you said, Michael, in your analysis, once one of the teams made a break, it's been Cork. They have been allowed an opportunity to seize the initiative.
Absolutely, Ger. All it took was 10 minutes, because the room has been there. The hurling hasn't been that tight or that good, and just whatever team got on top is always going to win it.
Comerford lobbing it in towards Henry Shefflin. Back there is John Gardner. Head down, the 21-year-old to the wings, but it's there for Kilkenny to take it. Eddie Brennan fumbling. First touch wasn't great. Ben O'Connor struggling as well. Comes back to Henry Shefflin, advancing with purpose once again. Always a menacing figure. Nice ball inside here towards Martin Comerford. Half blocked on by Shola Halpine. Still everybody racing in after it, and it's going to be a 65. Only seconds remaining of the 70, but there's 6 points between the teams, and there's going to be 1 added minute to be played. Watch as this ball trickled off the stick. Well, it didn't trickle, it was hit out by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, and a 65 once again for Kilkenny. Eddie Brennan is taking it, not DJ. He'll have to lob it in. They've got to get a goal here, and there's only a minute left. 6 between them. It's a tall order. Can they go for it? Diarmuid O'Sullivan comes out, the mighty figure that he is, gets it away. They force it out. They run it away from goal. Wayne Sherlock there, upended, out over the line. Line ball to Kilkenny. About 25-30 seconds still to play. It looks like Cork are going to win the All-Ireland and win it for the 29th time. John Hoyne about to whip it into the centre. Straight at Tom Kenny, who got that last point for Cork. Only 2 players forward for Cork at this stage, but it scarcely matters. James Royal trying to pick it up. Brian Corcoran, the man who came back from exile. He was out for 3 years, but he's come back and looks like he's about to win another All-Ireland medal. He's the hero! Brian Corcoran has put over his 2nd point.
Is he glad he came back now, Ger?
It's all over and Cork are the champions. The All-Ireland final of 2004 comes to an end, and it's won by Cork. They've won it by 8 points. Some performance in the second half when they really produced the hurling. They finished in some style. Kilkenny were flat, but then they've been flat at times throughout the season. But there's no doubting it. Cork were bitterly disappointed last year to have lost the opportunity to take the crown. This year, they wanted to make amends. They've done so, and the final score in the All-Ireland final at Croke Park is Cork, 17 points, Kilkenny, 9.
Ger, eventually I think Kilkenny have been at the top. 6 All-Ireland final appearances in the last 7 years, and the reason that teams don't win 3 All-Irelands in a row because it's very, very difficult to do. But credit to them, they've been great champions. But that Cork team, they were destined last year to throw away the All-Ireland. This year, they were the best team all year, and fair play to them.
Let's go down to Marty. He's got Donald O'Grady with him.
Donald O'Grady, congratulations. Wonderful achievement, winning your 29th All-Ireland title. Well done.
Thanks very much, Marty. I think it's not less than the team deserved, you know. They really put their heart and soul into it, and we have a tremendous backroom, and I meant to pay tribute to them as well. But the players deserve this one. We felt last year that, you know, we didn't deserve to win last year because we didn't get the scores, and we were anxious to get a chance to do that again. And I was absolutely thrilled with them all, and I was thrilled for them because I think they deserved an All-Ireland medal.
It was a much improved Cork side in the second half.
Well, it was very difficult to play, Bart. There was a bit of a swirling wind, and the conditions were very greasy, so I think it was difficult for both teams. But going in at half-time, 1 point down, we were very happy.
It must be extra sweet to deprive Kilkenny of 3 in a row, but much more importantly that you are now ahead in the Roll of Honour.
Well, that is a material, Marty. As I said to you in the past, this is about the 2004 team. It's all about the players. It's all about what they have done. It's all about the supporters. Tremendous day for Cork hurling, Marty. Go to Míle Magan.
And it's a brilliant journey for you, John, because you took over this Cork team at a difficult time. You brought them right up to the top of the mountain.
Well, I give paid tribute to our physical trainers and our medical people and our backroom. I just stand in the pitch, Marty, and, you know, directing out through drills and whatever else. So, you know, I give all this tribute to the players particularly and to the rest of the backroom team.
Well done, John. Thank you very much. I'm also joined here by Brian Corcoran. Brian, congratulations. I'm sure you're a happy man now and glad that you came back.
Oh, yeah. A wise decision at this stage, but I know the reason I came back was because I knew there was a great bunch of lads there. An unbelievable squad. You know, the 30 players, the whole backroom staff, incredible. You know, never any time this week, you know, I was full sure we were going to win this game because I knew everybody was ready mentally, and Kilkenny are a great team, but you know, thank God we got the better of them today.
Were you worried during the first half because it took you to actually score? You were the man who got the first point from play after about 31 minutes.
Well, it's an All-Ireland final. It was always going to be close, you know, the slippery conditions, but we knew if we could stay with them for the first half, you know, hopefully our strengths will come in the second half, and you know, I think we won the second half decisively, and you know, it's a great feeling.
Well done, Brian Corcoran. Thank you very much for the interview. Well done. Delighted for you.
Good man, Brian Corcoran, and congratulations to Cork, as Brian said himself, and he's only telling the truth. It was well deserved, certainly on the way they played in the second half. But Tomas Mulcahy and Gerlach Nan here with me in the studio. First of all, Tomas Mulcahy, congratulations to Cork. You enjoyed that, I have no doubt. You know, it's sweet to win All-Ireland. It's even sweeter when you've lost last year's.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said at the start of the programme. I think we had a better balanced team this time round. The last year, 12 months wiser, you know, people in better positions, right, in the midfield and the half-back line. And certainly maybe in half-time we said like the game plan was going against them, but you cannot fault them in the second half. The game plan was right. They drilled the ball as quickly as possible down the field, and it opened up gaps, and it showed the Kilkenny backs when they were exposed and brought out wide into the wings that the runners were there, were coming through that stage. And then like Tom Kenny coming through there in the last 10 minutes, getting the point that he got, and that was lacking in the first half period. But give great credit to the manager Donald himself. Composure, they didn't panic. Going in at half-time, didn't play particularly well, but only a point down, and that was the big thing, only a point down at half-time. They knew in their own heart and souls, they had fierce belief in the team, that they would come back in the second half period.
And what Donald got out of them, what they got out of themselves, Gerlach, now in that second half, was passion and commitment, because it was that kind of a match today.
Absolutely.
Whoever was going to dig deep was going to get it.
Fantastic. I think there were three things really got them out of them. First of all, it was Kilkenny scored 2 points in the second half. Cork scored 11. Now that tells its own story, and we were suspicious at the start how much was in the well when Kilkenny would go there. They've gone there so many times in the last 3 or 4 years. It was almost dry, especially in the second half. Now Cork dominated them physically in the second half. That's absolutely crucial in your playing Kilkenny. You must dominate them physically. Their half-back lines were absolutely magnificent. Now, as we were saying at half-time, they got the direct ball into the forward line, especially into Jordine. Niall McCarthy sent a great ball into Jordine. And these were the things that won them the game. But I must pay tribute as well to Donald O'Grady. He concentrates on blocking and hooking and flicking. Look there in the second half. How many balls did they win in that own defence? By blocking Kilkenny, hooking them, giving them no time, giving them no room to strike. That's the secret to beat Kilkenny. And the last thing was, they never dropped the ball into the air. They kept it low and drove it into space, and it worked perfectly. Brilliant planned, beautifully executed, and a well-deserved victory.
Performance of Kieran Murphy as well, when the need was the greatest in the second half period there. He came up trumps as well. I mean, he was being criticised, maybe he was a weakness in attack, got 2 very good scores.
He was fantastic. He was absolutely. In that second half, he was and calm.
Yeah, very calm, very relaxed. I mean, the full back line themselves were fantastic. I mean, Sherlock came in. Sherlock had a great.
John Brown.
John Brown had a great game when he came in.
John Lowe Cusack did his part.
He did. Made a great save.
Yeah. Would have changed everything.
It was a real team display. That was the thing about it. That's why they should enjoy it all the more. It wasn't based on individuals. It's the way O'Grady likes it. Everybody in the team making a massive contribution, giving everything for the cause, as indeed Kilkenny have done over the last 3 years. Because they set this standard, because they wrote the formula for this. Cork adapted it to their own style, and they did it brilliantly in the second half, after being very lucky to be just 1 point behind at half-time.
It's very lucky to be, and not playing well, as we said, in that first half, but the captain's speech, as he's been handed to Ben O'Connor there, he'd be ready to say his few words.
Yeah, that's similar to last year's final, Michael, you know, not playing particularly well in the first half, last year, coming back in the second half, and we didn't take the Cork didn't take the chance that they got in the second half.
And look at Niall McCarthy this year, missed them all last year, scored 3 brilliant points in the second half this year, and crucial times, 3 brilliant points.
Big thing was he kept these positions in the second half, and they put ball on top, and it was just breaking all around them.
And he beat Peter Barney again, he put him over the bar this time, and laid off a great ball as well. It'd be very difficult to beat the man of the match here. I would like to have the job.
Well, you have the job, actually, so you can be thinking about it for the next few minutes while the speech is being made. Sean Kelly is about to hand over the Liam McCarthy Cup.
Big day for all concerned with the Cork hurling team after that amazing second half comeback by Cork. They really were vastly superior. It was something like 11, it was exactly 11 points to 2 for Cork in the second half. Kilkenny's only 2 points, going through my notes, came from frees. I haven't come across that before with a Kilkenny team. Well, they're worried a little bit about the presence of the crowd here and any kind of danger of anybody being trampled in the crush of players. And I remember Kieran McEnany of Armagh was similarly worried some years ago, 2 years ago. And Ben O'Connor is ready to accept the cup from Sean Kelly, Oakteron. Come on, Luke Glasgow on Cork's big day.
Cork won in Kennedy. They were great champions for the past 2 years, and we salute them. But the Liam McCarthy Cup goes back to Cork. They now go to the top of the leaderboard, having won more All-Irelands than any other county. And with those bouncers, the managing director, Michael Locomines, all the way from Greece. It gives me great pleasure on Cotton and Captain Cork. Ben from Newtown Shandron, a hurry maker, a score taker, Ronald Jerry, Ben the Twin.
In the presence of thousands upon thousands of Cork followers, Ben O'Connor from Newtown Shandron in North Cork lifts the Liam McCarthy Cup. Cork are the champions for 2004. They go ahead of Kilkenny. Cork have now won it on 29 occasions. And what a family get together there with Ben and Jerry and the fans all enjoying the occasion.
Arúgáin a hísing, arúgáin chuma gascé. Is ógáin the key.
Is it a big word, Ben? Who wrote the script? It'll be cut out of the edited highlights, don't worry.
More time, Liam McCarthy, a chop, Corky. It's a great honour for me to lead Cork to bring Liam McCarthy home for the first time in 5 years. I think great credit is due to each one of these players here. I'd like to thank my club, Newtown Shandron, for giving me the honour of captaining such a fine bunch of fellas for the last 12 months. I'd also like to thank our sponsors all too, who are the best sponsors in Ireland, and we'd like to say thanks to Catherine and all our team. I'd like to thank the supporters. Last year you were the best in the country, you're the second best team in the country. This year you're still the best supporters in the country, and you're the number 1 team. I'd like to thank the referee and his officials for having a fine game. I'd also like to thank our backline team, our trainers, Sean McGrath, Joey Wallace, Jimmy and Chris, Dr. Colin Decky, Eddie O'Donnell, Mick Dolan, Kevin and I, and all the county board, especially Mick Dolan, who was our liaison officer and never saw us wanting for anything. And finally, I'd like to thank our sectors, John Allen, Sean O'Leary, Patsy Morrissey, Fred Sheedy, and the rare balance of those after the years back to the old days, Donald O'Reilly. Finally, I'd like to thank Kilkenny for a fine sporting game. They showed there today why they are the top team for the last 5 or 6 years. I have no doubt we'll be back next year to have another right after them. Thank you. And 3 cheers for Kilkenny. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. We'll see you all in Cork tomorrow night.
Yes, a happy occasion for Cork. They take the cup home. That's the setting. It's been their day.
No, it certainly has indeed, and he will of course see them all tomorrow at some stage, or tomorrow night probably anyway, it's down in Cork. And you know, tomorrow, while the speech was going on there, we were saying, you know, going into the match, they were playing down the 28 All-Irelands each, but they'll be playing it up now, I think, over the next couple of days.
No better
Please, they're playing it up already.
No better boys than the Cork boys know to play it up, I must say. But it's a big factor, Michael. It has been a big factor all week. I don't know, Donald would want to keep it away from the players, but I mean, two great counties, I mean, participating in a final today. To go 29-28 ahead of them. Kilkenny have never led us right, so I mean, we take that step again. But I mean, you have to pay credit to Kilkenny as well. I mean, okay, I mean, they've lost today. They wouldn't have played as well as they would have liked. But I mean, 6 All-Ireland finals in the last 7 years. I mean, it's a fantastic record themselves. I mean, they can hold their heads up high. I mean, they were beaten by a better Cork team in the second half today. But like, they've given us fantastic value as well. And I'm sure Brian Cody and these players themselves, they'll be disappointed, but they've got to keep their heads up high.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for the moment. We have a commercial break to take. Still more to talk about the All-Ireland final right after that. Yeah, that says it all, doesn't it? Wayne Sherlock celebrating, and the look of disappointment and defeat on the face of Brian Cody. Knew the game was up. Cork's day, winning by 17 points to 9. You know, there was a couple of defining moments in the second half, gentlemen. A couple of points by Kieran Murphy. Niall McCarthy played superbly in the second half. Got scores as well as influencing the trend of the game, and it was crucial to Cork.
Strangest things happen in the All-Irelands. You know, people you don't expect to play well at all, they are the ones who become the stars of the show. And there we had Kieran Murphy, a lot of people, even in Cork, I'd say,
people had doubted his ability, whether he should be started or not.
But Kieran was here 3 years ago in the minor. He was absolutely brilliant in the minor. He's a big day performer, a Croke Park performer, and he showed that today. And I was delighted for Niall McCarthy, because we've always said here that he's the best centre forward in the game, and at long last he put him over the bar today. And you'll see these inserts here now. These were the scores that really won the game for them. Probably the Cork defence won the game for them, but you have to score as well. And these were the crucial scores at vital times in the second half that won the game for them.
Yeah. Also in the second half we saw the Dunlow-Cusack save. Came at a vital stage in the match.
Yeah, that was a crucial stage. I mean, Cork were getting a top, a goal chance that Kilkenny created, and it was a great block by Dunlow-Cusack. And again, he's been criticised maybe as a shot stopper, but I know they've been putting a lot of work with him over the last couple of weeks as well.
This is coming back, Ger. We talked about these points a few minutes ago. Here they are. We found the clip at last.
You see, using the low balling, you know, and especially in that slippery ground today, when the back attacks that is very, very dangerous. And the confidence he had there, you know, a young lad at just 20, he's under 21 this year. The confidence to take a point like that. Now here's the man, McCarthy. He moved all over the place, left and right. I think this is Tom Kenny here. Tom Kenny coming in for the wing, flicks it back. Now the work rate of McCarthy, he turns right around from left to right, bang over the bar. He did that last year. I was just going to say
last year they hit the post and they went out wide, right? This time they went over the bar and put the gap between Kilkenny.
And remember last year he hit the post, came down and down the field and come for buried it here. That's you know, they're the small little things that win All Ireland. One day Lady Luck smiles on you, the next day it turns its back.
And another day maybe that Dunlow-Cusack ball that got stuck under his feet, he grabbed it out and he got rid of it.
The chance that it could actually spill in behind him and into the goal as well, right? And I think it's DJ's possession here. There's a hand pass that goes inside.
Yeah.
It's Martin Comerford and hand pass inside. Hits a first touch, and it's a great shot by Henry. I mean, there's a difficult one to hit on the bounce like that. But it's
it could have been a classic goal if he scored.
It would have been a classic goal. But give credit to Cusack. He was very quick and very alert and very quick to get the ball up again and clear his lines. And he'll be happy with his performance afterwards today.
He certainly will indeed. OK, Brian Cody has been a great manager for Kilkenny over the last 6 years now. Today wasn't his day. Let's talk to Brian.
Brian, I know it's easy to do interviews when you've won, so I appreciate the fact that you come out to us now. It looked so good in the first half. You were dominating, but yet you were only a point in front.
I wouldn't say we were dominating, Marty. It was always a very tight game, you know. We missed a few scores early on, they missed scores as well, that kind of a day where a lot of scores were missed, I suppose. And, you know, we had created a few chances, especially early on in the game. But in the second half, you know, I think it's fair to say Cork deserved to win the game. Cork essentially took over the game in lots of ways. And whatever storm there was there, and you know, the longer the game went on, the stronger they were coming. And just no doubt about it, like, this is sport, and at the end of the day we've had a few good years, and when things go against you, hold up your hand and say well done. The best team as far as I'm concerned always wins the All-Ireland final, and this year that's Cork.
Certainly they seem to be an improved team in the second half, and I know the wind was very strong, but they also seem to have the legs on Kilkenny this afternoon, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, well, again, that's the way sport goes. I think in all games, you know, it develops like that, and when a team gets on top, it always appears as if you have everything on the other team. And you know, I mean, that's fair enough, and that's the way it works. It's worked in our favour before. But Cork are a very good team, and all I can say is they're deserving All-Ireland champions.
It's heartbreaking, I know, inside that Kilkenny dressing room. I was just there because you've been deprived as well as 3 in a row. Do you think you can get this team back into shape again and re-energise them?
Well, it's like when you win an All-Ireland final, Cork are not going to worry about next year. They're going to enjoy winning. We're going to sort of try and get over losing it. And next year is late years away right now. I mean, we'll have a chat inside, and we'll get through tonight and we'll get through tomorrow. But at the end of the day, you know, there's 2 of our panel going home essentially to bury their father, you know, as well, you know. So it is sport, and life goes ahead, and it's heartbreaking to lose an All-Ireland final. But we've done pretty well, you know. We've sampled winning the last 2, and it was no divine rights in this game. And you know, we've got to just taste a feeling of defeat now. But we'll do that. As far as I'm concerned, we were decent champions. We won with honour. We will lose with honour as well, and that's the way it should be.
Well spoken, Brian Cody. Thank you very much.
Okay, Marty.
Well, indeed, as Brian said there, for the two Mulallys who are on the panel here whose father died over the weekend, there are other and more important things, obviously, than hurling. And he's a very disappointed man, as you could see. And
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that, Michael. And I mean, okay, they had a lot of possession, but their problem has been this year, they haven't been able to kill off teams when they've had that amount of possession. And it was similar in the first half. I mean, Cork went in a point down at half-time. We could have been 5 points down, we could have been 6 points down. Would have been a different story in the game. And when Kilkenny got tired, I mean, they'd had a lot of physical presence that first half. When the game opened up, they just didn't have the legs anymore.
Fatigue was
a big
thing.
That's
what we were saying about a half-time for Cork to keep their positions and keep it wide, open it up. And when you start running at people, then the other gaps start appearing. And it came very evident. 11 points in the second half for Cork, 2 for Kilkenny. And our backs tightened the whole ship at the back. I mean, the full back line and the half-back line were superb in that second half.
But that was more like Cork in the second half tomorrow. You know, the way they played in the semi-final, the quarter-final, spraying the ball out into open space, either scoring or taking on their man. They weren't doing that in the first half at all.
If you're going to adopt the running game, you cannot adopt the running game when it's bunched and everybody's out and around the middle of the park trying to create possession or win possession.
The first thing even for the running game is get it forward. And when your man gets possession, they didn't have your men coming running. But they weren't even getting it forward in the first half. But they remedied at half-time.
And also, Cork were getting inspirational points at the right, the kind of rabble-rousing scores, not putting points on the board as well, mind you, but also they got the crowd going and the whole surge. I actually said to you in the second half, you know, can't see Cork losing from here. Like Tom Kenny's point, like
Tom Kenny's right, but the crowd were a huge help to Cork right from the start today. There was a massive Cork crowd here. I know then he got 13,000 tickets. We're more than 13,000 coming here. Now, this is just
for me. This
is the kind of a point we'll remember from Cork from this year and that new style. Joe Dean had a terrific second half in corner forward, laying it on in front of the man, not to the man, in front of the man coming in space.
We didn't see that. Exactly. Breaking ball. That was the difference. I mean, now when you get 5 or 6 points ahead, it tends to happen in a game like that.
It shows the quality in this Cork team. You know, I think they'll improve. They'll go on. They'll get better and better from now on. And having survived such a really bruising contest as they did today, and finish playing the kind of hurling they love to play, it's a great boost from going on into the next few years.
It certainly is. Well, they'll only be concentrating, I think, for the moment, the fans anyway, on today and enjoying winning this particular All-Ireland. Let's hear what they have to say.
Absolutely brilliant. Kilkenny's got 1 point in the second half. If they were there tomorrow, they wouldn't get 29.
As much match, the better team won on the day. Kilkenny were too flat second half. Way too flat.
We just didn't perform in the day. No one really played well. Cork played well, and that's the way it goes. Won for the last 2 years. This year didn't have it, so best luck to Cork.
We beat them. Number 29, and we'll go for 30 next year. They can have the 3 in a row now. We have them, they got nothing. Cork are the best, there's no doubt about it. We should have won it last year, but we made up for it this year. The sweetest victory I ever remember.
On the ribbon! Yeah, they're in good form.
Of that tonight.
And I suspect they'll get to be in better form as well as the night goes on. Okay, that's pretty much then where we leave it from Croke Park. But let's just talk and wrap up here with the panel from Croke Park. I suppose, like, you know, on a day like today, there's not just a sense of celebration, but a sense of satisfaction as well. And particularly going back to last year, 12 months ago, I mean, the defeats, everybody in the Cork panel was obviously down and depressed and all that sort of stuff. So 12 months later...
12 months later, I mean, that's the beauty about hurling. I mean, it comes around very, very quickly. You're into September, you get over the Christmas period, you're into New Year again, and, like, I think particularly for the likes of Donald O'Grady and the team of selectors, I mean, it took an awful lot of flack last year because of the loss, and certainly this year after the Munster final defeat again against Waterford, right? They took, because we'd it was 15 men against 14, and people felt we should have done better in that match. He's been justified. He's kept faith with a lot of fellas there today, right? He's kept faith with his belief and how the game should be played, and he gets his just rewards today. And I know he was quick to praise an awful lot of the individuals on the team and the players, but he has an awful lot to do with that. I mean, he's a perfectionist.
He has been the catalyst
behind the scenes, and we're talking about the blocking of the hook, and I watched it for the last couple of weeks. It is so much detailed going into the training and the preparation, and it reflects out on the field.
It does. I mean, other things behind the scenes, we don't want to go sort of raking up old muck again, but like when Donald O'Grady took over this team, he took it over in a situation where everything in Cork was not exactly rosy.
He was, but he came in at a time as well. That's a big advantage for the managers to come in then. You know, the players had to respond.
You can only go up.
Things could only improve. But the difference between Cork and Kilkenny, Michael, when they're beaten in All-Ireland, there's always next year for them.
Right.
If Clare or Limerick or we'll say Galway are beaten, the chance mightn't come for 10 years.
Yeah.
Kilkenny are beaten today, right? It's bad. But you can be certain Kilkenny will be back next year.
Does mine are on the 21s,
Right.
been involved in all
You'll win all Ireland's forever again.
Today, great second half. Well done to Cork.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Okay, my thanks to Jaron Tomas for joining me here in the studio this afternoon. But of course, we're not finished with this year's All-Ireland hurling final here on RTE television, not by a long shot. I'm going to be back later on with the Sunday game evening transmission, in which we'll be celebrating with the winning team. We'll be talking to some of those involved in the big day, and of course also naming our man of the match selection from today's final. It was Cork's day. 29 All-Irelands. They'll surely celebrate tonight. Company of the winning team and their supporters as they celebrate this afternoon's great success. Well, plenty to talk about, lots of people to talk to, and also, of course, the announcement of the man of the match from the 2004 All-Ireland hurling final. Well, that will all be taking place here tonight, but it will also be slipping back to Montrose for more chat from there.
Thanks very much, Michael. Actually, we were just remarking here in the studio what a rare sight it is to see a Galway man at a Liam McCarthy victory banquet. But anyway, yes, here in the studio we'll be looking back at this afternoon's final in more detail with Pete, Cyril and Tomas joining me for analysis and discussion. Lads, you're very welcome. Tomas, as a good neighbour, as a Kerryman, might I be the first to publicly congratulate Cork on their victory today. Well deserved.
That's the first time you said that this year, fellow. A good neighbour from Kerry. Yes. The first time that you said it.
Well deserved, Tomas.
Well deserved, yeah. I mean, I don't think Kilkenny will have any complaints tonight, and certainly, I mean, they've nothing to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they've won a lot over the last number of years. We won't see the end of Kilkenny because there's such a proud tradition. But it is Cork's night, and you must say, I mean, well deserved in the second half. Whatever happened to ignite something at half-time, they came out a totally different team in the second half and used the pace and the skill in the running game that we thought they would.
Cyril, without meaning any disrespect to Kilkenny, who have been great champions, but it's probably a great day for hurling for Cork to win.
Well, when you're at the top so long, like everyone, there'll be 31 counties more or less against Kilkenny. Not that they all love Cork, but just that they feel like they have to knock Kilkenny from the top of the perch sometime. They were great champions, as Tomas says, like, but you won't be any All-Ireland final scoring 2 points in the second half, and them 2 points came from frees, none from play. Cork took over half back then the second half, took over forwards on the running game, and once they got their game going, there was always going to be only one winner.
Pete Finnerty, your article in the Sunday Independent today, headlined, Kilkenny will not be denied. Please explain.
You would have to find it, wouldn't you?
I found it.
Yeah, I read it totally wrong. I actually thought that Kilkenny would be stronger this year in the All-Ireland final than they have been for some time because of having 4 matches in 5 weeks, having come through the back door. I thought after getting the shock against Wexford that there would have been a much stronger and more focused team. The problem was that they've been in, 5 All-Ireland finals in 6 years. They've a lot of miles on the clock, and when Brian Cody went to the well again, as the lad said earlier on, there was nothing really there. But they were great champions, but there's no doubt about it. Cork have brought it to another level again. Kilkenny set the level for the last 2 years, but Cork have lifted the roof again.
Gentlemen, thank you. We'll get into more in-depth analysis later on. Well, to the highlights now, and Cork's meeting with Kilkenny in this afternoon's...
Well, as you can hear for yourself, they're enjoying the fact that they're this year's All-Ireland hurling champions. Well, now, OK, folks, we're here with me at the Burlington Hotel. We have the winning captain, Ben O'Connor, and we also have the Cork goalkeeper, Donlo Cusack. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And obviously, congratulations. Ben, I have to, first of all, as the captain, obviously, it was a proud day for you. But it took you a while to get into your stride. Now, I don't mean in the game. In the speech afterwards up in the Hogan stand, what happened there?
I suppose, Michael, I had kind of planned out going up, and I was handed a couple of sheets, and I was, in fairness to Eddie O'Donnell, he's right, he didn't great, and it was hard to read it. But I think I recovered all right after all that.
We thought you were after forgetting your reading glasses or something like that for a moment. It wasn't a fantastic thing to be up there making the speech as the Cork captain, though?
Well, I suppose it made no difference what I said at the end of the day, as long as we had the cup above, because that was the main thing. That was our goal coming up. Saturday in the training.
Yeah.
We're going home with it tomorrow evening. We can't wait to get down to Cork now to see the crowd below before us.
I bet you can't. And obviously, of course, Ben, it's been a pretty good year for you at Croke Park.
Yeah, not too bad. We started off the year fairly well now, all right, in March. And I suppose little did we think we'll be back here again in September picking up the Liam McCarthy Cup. So, mighty year so far.
But it was the dream to be back here, obviously, and especially after last year.
Yeah, I suppose it was after being beat last year. I suppose we didn't perform well enough to win it on the day. And we said last year, leaving the field, that we'll be back again this year with a slight hiccup on the way, but myself and Dolan had that planned out between us there earlier on afternoon's final. We said that we take all the attention off ourselves. We'll come in the back door and stage, but we'll have to get to their element. That's the main thing for us.
All right, Ben, you'll have a few more words to say to the people of Cork tomorrow evening when you get down. Now, just tell me, is it your notes, is it cue cards, cue sheets, or what are you going to use tomorrow?
Oh, my own notes, I'm on, like, not Eddie O'Donnell's anyway.
Donald, congratulations to yourself. And I mean, obviously you had this experience in 1999. It's been 5 years. It's been a little bit of a wait to taste that again, and I'm sure the taste is sweet.
Yeah, I suppose it's a long time now since 1999, even though we have great memories of those days. I suppose this year's victory is probably very special, you know. Over the past couple of seasons, this group of players have been through a lot, both on and off the field, you know, and I suppose it's just a culmination of a lot of very, very hard work by a lot of people, you know, in today's victory.
Hard work can be made or broken in a couple of seconds, and that might have been the situation today. Ball came in, Kilkenny had a chance of a goal, you saved, it was on the ground for a couple of seconds. I'm sure Cork people's hearts are in their mouth. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, well, I suppose as a goalkeeper, some days, you know, Michael, they stay out here, and other days you might get your hurley to it, and it might just go off your hurley. And even, I suppose, if Henry probably mishit the ball today, you know, he probably caught it too well, and I was lucky enough just to be in the right place at the right time, and fortunately it landed dead in the ground for me, and I was able to pass it out to Wayne.
Well, as I said to Ben, you know, it's been a good year for him with the club, but for your own club as well, it's special, and this All-Ireland is special too.
Yeah, most definitely, Michael. You know, I suppose hurling is a religion down in Clyne, you know, and it's just great for all the Clyne people, and I suppose anybody that was down there over the past couple of weeks. It was great credit due to the people, the way they had the town decked out, and you know, I just hope to God all the lads are below in the alley bar tonight, and they're enjoying themselves, I've no doubt.
Donald, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that they are. Donald O'Cusick, Ben O'Connor, thank you very much for joining us here in the programme. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Okay, well now, for the moment, we're going to move away from the Winners' Hotel here. We're going to go down the road to a place, Ben, I think you might know this place, down to Newtown Shandrum in Cork, because Darren Maloney is our man on the road, so let's hear from him right now.
Michael, thank you, and welcome to Newtown Shandrum in County Cork. It's been an amazing couple of months for this club, and indeed for this part of the county. 6 members of the club team were on the inter-county panel today, and of course the O'Connors started in the All-Ireland final. Mike Morrissey, the club development officer, is here with me. Mike, tell me about what it was like here today. Bedlam, I'd say.
Huge day, Dara. It's indeed bedlam, all right, and there's a huge atmosphere here. We fed up to 500 people here. Thanks to our sponsors, I'll plug for them. And it's a massive day for this club, parish, for all the people who are involved in Croke Park, and indeed for Cork indeed.
So much has happened to this club in such a short space of time.
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 years have been truly amazing. Like, and the county final in 2000, I suppose, was what we thought would be a highlight of a lot of our lads' playing career. And it has snowballed. I mean, last year, this past year has been huge out here, like in Croke Park, St. Patrick's Day, All-Ireland club champions, the best senior team in the country. What can you say about that? Like, it's been a huge, huge year, and to cap it all, like, Ben brings back to Liam McCarthy this evening.
Well, the other All-Ireland winning captain in this club is John McCarthy from last March. John, a very proud day for you and for everybody here. What about today? What was your feeling watching Ben going up those steps to collect the Liam McCarthy today?
Well, to watch a good friend of yours go up and receive the Liam McCarthy Cups, an amazing achievement, and everybody got a huge boost out of it. You know, there was a lot of pressure, it being 28 titles each, for Ben to be actually the captain of the decisive one. It was fantastic for everyone.
Now, you have the Tommy Moore Cup with you, which was the All-Ireland Club Trophy from last March, and that fantastic victory over Dunloy. Tuesday, another big day here, because a certain Liam McCarthy Cup is going to be joining it on the sideboard.
Yeah, it is the Stock Valley Newtown's gone up quite a bit now, and land property will go up now after that as well. I suppose Liam McCarthy, is the highest for achievement for any team in the country hurling wise, so for it to come to here at Newtown Shandrum, absolutely fantastic. We look forward to it.
Absolutely, it'll be a great day down here. It's been a great day here already in Newtown Shandrum. The party only just getting underway, so with that, Michael, we'll go back to you in Dublin.
Thank you very much to Darren Maloney, and I have absolutely no doubt at all, Darren, you're going to enjoy yourself down there in Cork tonight. Okay, well, it's time now to hear from some other members of this afternoon's winning side here with us at the winners' banquet, and they're talking now to Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, indeed, to win in All-Ireland, it's more than just 15 players. It's a squad, it's a panel of players. And today, that was very much reflected by Cork's wonderful performance in Croke Park, particularly in the second half. Well, joining me now are two members of that successful All-Ireland winning combination, from defence to corner forward, from Diarmuid O'Sullivan to Joe Deane. Joe Deane, what an achievement to deprive Kilkenny of their 3 in a row, and for Cork now to go into the top with the Roll of Honour 29.
Yeah, you know, it was a fantastic achievement for all the lads here, especially, I suppose, after the disappointment of last year. You know, after the game last year, we were totally gutted, and we came together out in the field after the game, and we kind of made a pact to ourselves that, you know, next year, lads, things are going to be different, and thankfully it worked out like that. I think going into the game, fellas weren't talking, amongst the players anyway, about, you know, Kilkenny and Cork in 28 each. This was just about today's game, and that was it.
Talk to me about the journey. Losing the Munster final, getting yourself energised, reorganised and coming back. How difficult was that?
Yeah, I suppose after the initial game against Limerick, we played okay. Going to the Munster final, you know, it was a huge game. Waterford were, you know, were the form team at the time, and we were really up for it. We actually played quite well that day, and, you know, fair play to Waterford for coming out and beating us. After that, you know, we went back training in the Wednesday night, and I think everyone was a bit down. You know, we regrouped a couple of nights later. You could see that the, you know, fellas were really wanted to win this All-Ireland, and, you know, we took it on from there.
Well, Joe Deane, you're joined here by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Diarmuid, to me at least, you epitomise the spirit of this Cork hurling team. After all, you are the Rock, as they call you down in Cork. Talk to me about the spirit of Cork.
Yeah, I suppose, Marty, right from the off, well, going back, even stretching back as far as Joe spoke there to last year's All-Ireland final, you know, there was a great spirit in the camp. You know, we made a pact together, as Joe said. We built on this spirit. We tried to atone for last year's defeats. And, you know, today is the culmination of all that work we've put in together.
What about the influence of a player that came back? Satanto Halpine was a huge loss. But the return of Brian Corcoran, you had to mark him when he came back, I'm sure, in training. What was it like for Brian to return?
Yeah, I suppose he just brought a bit of the old ways back into the team. You know, I suppose he was never known really for his scoring prowess, even though he got 2 fantastic scores for us today when they were badly wanted. But, you know, his general overall play, you know, his winning of the ball, his distribution, laying it off to the others, it helped our smaller lads like Joe and Kieran a bit. You know, he broke the play for them, and, you know, it helped us out of pile and worked a treat.
What about the effect this will have in Cork hurling?
Yeah, we were down last year, you know, but we were upbeat a small bit. We were up and coming, but, you know, today we've achieved, you know, it's going to be great. Cork needed it, the county needed it. You know, it's going to be a great lift.
When Donal O'Grady, if I can put this very briefly to the two of you, when Donal O'Grady took over, Cork were kind of in a little bit of a crisis. It's been an amazing journey, and it's been a big achievement for Donal O'Grady as well.
Mm-hmm. It has, definitely. I suppose everyone knows about the troubles that went on off the field, and, you know, Donal came in, you know, and he took us from, I suppose, 0, you know, to hero today. So we owe an awful lot to Donal. He's been fantastic all year, but as well as Donal, it was the whole backroom staff. You know, Jimmy McAvoy, Decky Sullivan, you know, Shawnee McGrath, Jerry Wallace, Chris O'Donovan. It was the whole backroom staff, and it was really the team that we had off the field. Made a huge difference to the lads on the team. So we were absolutely delighted.
Well, Diarmuid and Joe Deane, thank you very much for joining us. It's back to Michael.
Marty, thank you very much indeed. Now, thanks to Joe Deane and, of course, to Diarmuid O'Sullivan. And I suppose to the Liam McCarthy Cup, you'd have to say, Sully's come and got you, hasn't he? All right, here on All-Ireland final programme tonight, we're going to take a commercial break, but do please stay with us, because we're back after that with the views from our panel of experts. What did they really think of today's game? Find out shortly. Pat, thank you very much indeed. Pat, thank you very much indeed. Well, now then, as Pat said, we're back here at the Winners Hotel, and I am delighted to be joined by the manager of this afternoon's winning team. That's Donal O'Grady. Donal was just asking me in the chat there a moment ago if I fancied Cork today, and I said to him, Donal, when I picked out my clothes this morning out of the wardrobe as to what I was going to wear tonight, I picked the red, Donal. My wife said to me, you must know something about this match. I said I have a feeling. Did you have a feeling this morning when you woke up?
I must say, Michael, that I had a feeling all the week, you know. I was very confident. I felt that if we played to our abilities that we were going to win it, you know.
Yeah.
And at no stage of the match today was I worried, bar one, I suppose, 5 minutes after half-time. We took an awful lot of time to go ahead.
Sure, yeah.
And I was worried that maybe, you know, that we mightn't get there, but once we got ahead, I knew we'd stay there.
But half-time, Donald, I mean, there was only a point in it at half-time, and everybody was saying, neutrals were saying, we were saying up in the panel and that, this is going to be awful tight at the finish. This could be a draw. It was anything but a draw in the end.
Well, I must say, I was very confident at half-time that we'd go and win it. I felt that we hadn't played well in the first half. We had played for about 5 minutes, really, when you condense it all down. And I knew that if we got our game going, and once our defence held firm, and our defence was excellent all through, but it was brilliant, I think, in the second half, I knew we'd go on and win it.
Donald, just after occurring to me right now, in fact, 1984, 20 years ago, I interviewed you down in Thurles as member of that winning team at the time. It's been some journey for you since, hasn't it?
That's right. I think fours are nice to us, you know. I mean, this is the 50th anniversary of 1954, and, you know, I think that was last Cork winning all or nothing, but 84 was a nice year. Yeah. You know, it was the only medal I won, so it was nice to win that, and it was nice to come back in 2004 and win the next again.
Donald, people talk about the celebrations after winning at the All-Ireland, which obviously are fantastic and are brilliant here tonight. Talk to me about the next 24 hours or so, kind of what's going to happen, what will be. I mean, do you have an input in this, or can you just sit back yourself now and relax and enjoy it?
Well, my job is basically done, Michael, to be honest with you, you know. And I think the others
You'll go where your truck is, they say.
Others will be organising that. But, you know, tomorrow night is all about going back to your own people and, you know, to celebrations in the city. And I think that's always a special occasion. You saw today the pouring of emotion, really, when you know, for the first time ever, I suppose, right, that Cork people disobeyed instructions from on high to stay off the pitch. And really, the crowd at the end of the pitch, the supporters were tremendous. And it's all about them from here on in.
Yeah. And one last quick question. Obviously, Cork are going to be back next year to defend their All-Ireland title. Will Donald O'Grady be back to defend it with them?
Well, I don't think that's the question for tonight, Michael. I suppose to say there'll be a big scramble for tickets again, and I'll probably be in that scramble.
And you'll be in negotiations, I suppose, with the county board.
Well, if they
tickets, of course.
If they up the 500,000 fee that they're paying me already.
I know, yeah. Donald O'Grady, ladies and gentlemen. Donald, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you. Stay there for a second. Right. Well, now, naturally, where there are winners, there has to be losers as well. And unfortunately for Kilkenny, that was to be their lot this afternoon. After the
for 2004. Now, let's take a look at what our for 2004. Now, let's take a look at what our three wise men in the panel chose. Pete, you're going to take us through the first five, starting with, in goals, Seamus Fitzhenry.
Damien Fitzhenry, yeah. What can we say about Damien Fitzhenry? He's something like 12 years in goals for Wexford. We saw some of the saves that he made against Offaly earlier on, but they weren't alone the only saves that he's made. He's a tremendous goalkeeper, and he got the nod, I suppose, above Brendan Cummins, who I'd put next, and after that, James McGarry. Next we go on to Wayne Sherlock, again one of the older custodians of the game. Richard Delaney, Ronan Curran, Ken McGrath, each of them deserve an all-star as much as Sean Og, but if we could put Sean Og anywhere in there in the fourth line, we'd put him in there.
McGarry?
You just said that she spent an awful lot of time this afternoon going through and picking this team. I had a very busy afternoon over in Croke Park, you know, so I mean, it's like a three-man selection committee. When you arrive into the committee or into the team meeting and you're throwing the sheet. You're throwing the sheet.
Take us through your final five and forget about these langers here. Your final five, briefly,
and the team is picked. I had Mulder in the dressing room tonight to try and get that changed and to try and bring in a few more players. Obviously, we spoke about Paul or Niall McCarthy. I mean, we've already gone through him.
Your contenders.
A lot of contenders on the Cork side and I suppose as well on the Kilkenny side. I thought that John Gardner was outstanding throughout the game, as the entire half-back line was Ronan Curran, and Sean O'Halpian was brilliant in the first half when Cork were under pressure. Tom Kenny ran the length and breadth of the field. Ben O'Connor came into the game towards the end. Brian Corcoran held position in front of goal. There's so many contenders.
Yeah, like on the Kilkenny side, you had a lot of great players. Right? Their half-back line in the first half was very much on top as well. You had Tommy Welsh playing very well. You had Barry. You had JJ. That half-back line, there would always been second half, probably against the Breeze. Cork, they all played well. Like, you know, like the backs were brilliant, half-back line, the Rock had a great game. Donald Loke had a great game in goals, had a terrible lot of influence and control what he did, and they must have done a lot of work on it. As Pete says, Kenny in these midfield. But up front is where I would be really giving it to. The forwards up front, any day do me.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, I saw the 6 Cork defenders with the goalkeeper, particularly in the second half period, close down the shop, work very, very hard as a unit. Up front again, I mean, I look at the likes of Kieran Murphy. I'm not saying that he will probably win man of the match, but I saw in the second half maybe what we didn't see in the championship today. Great potential, and he got 2 excellent points with Brian Cochran as well, and obviously the centre forward to me had a fantastic game as well today.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts tonight. Let's go back to Michael Lester in the Burlington Hotel to find out who the Sunday game 2004 man of the match is going to be.
All right, thank you, Pat. Well, great expectation here. Okay, so now you know who was in contention, but the big question is, of course, who did we finally pick as our RTE man of the match from this afternoon's game? Well, I have the answer here. We're going to do this a bit like the Oscars now, just to kind of heighten the tension for everybody. Oh, I forgot my glasses, I can't read this. The man of the match from this year's final. He scored 3 points. He was inspirational in bringing the Cork attack into top gear this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, of course, Niall McCarthy.
Thank you very much indeed, and as you can expect, a wonderful response here in the Burlington Hotel, and I'm sure there are bonfires blazing at this stage in Carrick-Touhil as well, because Niall McCarthy from Carrick-Touhil is the RTE man of the match. It's my pleasure to give you this, and I'm glad to give it in case I drop it. It's the RTE man of the match, a beautiful piece of Galway crystal, and I'm sure to be on the mantelpiece for years to come. Also, can I introduce Rory Sheridan, who's the sponsorship manager for Guinness. And you're going to be going on a VIP trip for 2 to the All-Ireland football final in 2 weeks' time. Courtesy of Guinness. Niall, talk to me about this All-Ireland hurling final. I saw you outside on that pitch today, and you got a free when you had a little tussle with Peter Barry, and the fists were going clenched and the hurley was swinging. You were very determined.
I was just unbelievable to win, like, you know. Last year, we were all very hurt after last year, you know. There wasn't a weekend went past when we didn't think about it, and that's just unbelievable to win today, you know. Because the whole team, like, we went on holidays now, January, and everyone's great friends in the team. And I thought we brought the friendship into the team, and everyone gave it everything. It's unbelievable to win today, like, you know.
Yeah, well, John, you got a great response when it was announced. Now, they tell me down in Cork that you're a bit of an enigma. You're a bit of an enigma. Inside at the last training session, before the All-Ireland hurling final, you didn't go on the pitch at all. Where were you and what were you doing?
Everyone approaches every game different, and I don't know, I just, after the Munster final anyway, you know, I was taken off, and we were training Friday night. I said, I'll change my routine a bit, and went, I like doing three days before a game, doing nothing before the match, and just leaving all my energy out in the game. And I don't know, usually, Jesus, everything goes wide, but as you know.
Well, you got 3 points today, and I think you're very shy because you keep going back in the crowd for me. You're the RTE man of the match, Niall McCarthy from Carrick-Touhil and Cork. And with that, we hand back to Michael Lester.
Marty, thank you very much indeed, and congratulations to Niall McCarthy. Enjoy the trip to the All-Ireland final, and of course our Galway Crystal man of the match spoken. All right then. It's time for us to leave you from the Winners Hotel here at the Burlington Hotel on the south side of Dublin. Well, it's been an incredible summer of hurling. The curtain is almost drawn on that for this season, but the GA action continues for some weeks to come yet here on RTE television. Next Sunday, it's the All-Ireland Camogie final, that of course between Cork and Tipperary, and hopefully we'll see you for that. But from all of us on the Sunday game and here at the Burlington Hotel, we say congratulations once again to Cork. I'm sure we're all good
to welcome their heroes. Our Southern editor, Pascal Sheehy, to welcome their heroes. Our Southern editor, Pascal Sheehy, is with the team.
Yes, indeed, and if we're not on top of the world here in Cork, we're certainly on top of the city. The reception for the players has just completed and finished in the last few minutes here. As you can see behind me, thousands of people milling around the streets still. Gardaí estimate that there was a crowd of around 50,000 people here to welcome the players back to Cork City. It was, in every sense, a spectacular homecoming. Back on Cork soil after a 5-year absence, the Liam McCarthy Cup went Leeside tonight as tens of thousands of Cork GAA fans rekindled their love affair with hurling's most prized piece of silverware. The Cup's absence from Cork has only intensified the desire for its return, and the passion of the Cork players in Croke Park yesterday was matched by their fans on the streets of the city tonight. It's been a long journey in many ways, but it's been worth it.
I suppose words can't describe it, Pascal. The crowd that after turning out to see us is unbelievable. We knew we were going to have a big crowd, but we didn't think we'd have anything like this.
Undescribable feeling now, Pascal. I experienced it back in '99, but this has surpassed it all together. I suppose the amount of young fellas out tonight and for us is unbelievable, and please God, you know, it stands well for the future Cork hurling.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's great to come back here again. You know, it's memories of '99 at this stage. You know, there's a huge crowd here, and it just shows what this victory means to the people of Cork.
This is my 4-week-old baby, Brian. He was born on the 11th of August last month.
What a moment for you, Mickey.
Yeah, without a doubt. This is obviously disappointing last year. I said my one wish, obviously, was to win an All-Ireland medal, but little addition here, so we put him in the Liam McCarthy Cup after coming off the train, and I'll never forget that moment as long as I live.
Unforgettable moments here in Cork City, and the party has just begun.
And Pascal, no doubt that party will continue for quite a while. What next for the team?
Well, the team have left the reception site here close to Cork City Hall, and they've moved up the street on the South Mall to the Imperial Hotel. There's another reception for them there, but that's only the beginning of it. There will be receptions right around the county for them for the rest of the week, and I have to give a plug for Newtown Shandrum, the little village. It's going to have a soft spot in my heart anyway after last night. The players, the captain, Ben O'Connor, is from Newtown Shandrum. 6 of the panel are from Newtown Shandrum, and they will return there with the rest of the panel tomorrow night. Should be some party.
I hope you're match fit too, Pascal. Thanks.